Listen, I'm sorry, I'm late. I've had a nightmare trying to set up some stuff. We've got two lads on the way. We've got Charles, we've got Dennis on the way. We're going to watch West Ham versus Manchester City. The teams are out. They are unchanged for West Ham, as expected. I don't believe Said Benrahma's in the squad. If someone wants to correct me on that, of course you can. I believe it was something to do with a fitness test. So that explains things. Manchester City are setting up slightly differently to how I'd expect. I believe Foden's on the bench, which I didn't think at all. Bernardo Silva's starting. So they've got basically 2 8s in that midfield, not going for a 10. I imagine it's for the athleticism that they're going to need against Rice and Souček. And I believe Garcia's come in at centre-back, meaning Ake's not in the starting 11. But certainly I think it's Cancelo at left-back or maybe Kyle Walker. But definitely one of the two is out of position. Let me know in the comment section what we're saying about the game today. How do you think we're going to do? They're currently talking about it on BT Sport. And again, Joe Cole's highlighted exactly what I highlighted against Tottenham, where Rice and Souček push up too much. It does give space for that number 10 to drop in and start to cause issues, as Harry Kane did. Obviously, Manchester City have got a 3-man midfield against our 2-man. I would like to see West Ham employ a little bit of a low block against City, hit them on the counter, and hope that Cancelo and Walker, who like to bomb on, is part of that Pep Guardiola system, leave space in behind and allow that front three to exploit them a little bit. They are weak defensively. Structurally, they are. Rodri is the best pivot in the world. And in particular, I believe from set pieces and deliveries, West Ham can cause some serious problems. So let me know in the chat your predictions for today. How do you think West Ham are going to get on? I'm feeling relatively optimistic, to be fair. I feel like we have a chance. I feel like we'll create chances against Manchester City. It is more about how solid we are defensively. I am massively opposed to a high press against these lot because I know what they can do. So I'll be looking for West Ham to be a little bit more defensive, particularly like in the games we've seen against Wolves and Arsenal. So we didn't get the result against Arsenal, but we still created chances and we still took them. So you'd expect that to happen. As I covered in my preview as well, Manchester City aren't going to put balls into the box like Spurs did, particularly that they're replaying the Heung-min Son cross to Harry Kane. They won't do that. They really won't. They'll look to link up with a 10. Again, there isn't a natural 10 in this side. Expect to see Sergio Aguero maybe sitting a little bit deeper and trying to collect the ball and play it to either Riyad Mahrez or Raheem Sterling, both of which can play as inverted wingers, both of which can get beyond the man. You'd be looking at that back three, particularly of West Ham's, to sit slightly deeper, not be too aggressive and not press too high. But we do know that Aaron Creswell has a tendency to push high when he's got the opportunity to do so. I mean, yes, of course, he's created 3 assists in 2 games, but we need to be wary of this. So let me know in the comment section, all 3 of you. But it's a pleasure as always. Drop a like and subscribe to the West Ham Way YouTube channel if you are new. Right, I'm going to do some of my tech duties. So it's probably the best time to get a cup of tea or something like that. I've got my coffee. I'm ready for this game.
He's obviously dropping there to the run of the forward, but he needs to go and engage because Harry Kane has the opportunity to take a shot, which he does, but also he has the opportunity to play some stuff for me. Yeah, and I think if you don't deal with it early and then get turned around in that Euros in that situation,
it's an interesting game. Listen, it is an interesting game. You know, I mean, they've got De Bruyne on the bench, which is obviously problematic, and they've got Phil Foden. They've got 2 natural 10s. De Bruyne is world class. Let's be perfectly clear here. So, I mean, if he gets the ball in that 10 role, it could be difficult for West Ham today. It's going to depend on when Guardiola makes his subs. It's also going to depend on when David Moyes makes his subs, if he makes any subs, because I think Manchester City are relentless. You'd be looking maybe to freshen it up 70, 75 minutes if West Ham have been under the cosh for a long period of time. But it remains to be seen. We'll wait. We'll wait on it. We'll see what happens in the game, and hopefully West Ham can create enough chances and put them away. And you'd have to back someone like Mikel Antonio and Jarrod Bowen to do so because they are good in front of goal. Obviously, Antonio, as previously discussed, has got a nice little change in position. We've seen him play a much more a number 9 role. He's staying more central. He's getting more goals on the score sheet. It's exactly what you want to see from Mikel Antonio. I expect him against that back 4, and particularly with our front 3 and their back 4, to stretch him a bit. And they got stretched midweek against Porto, less so against Arsenal. who set up quite defensive, and City kind of mirrored it. But you'd hope that Guardiola wants to put the pressure on West Ham, and that will give us an opportunity to get him behind. I don't think he's going to sit off West Ham. I've got to be perfectly honest. I think he'll look to press. He'll push the wing backs high. He'll push Rodri a little bit higher as well. You could see maybe Mikel Antonio almost dropping a little bit deeper to pick up the ball and put pressure on their pivot. And you look for Jarrod Bowen to get him behind. And I said in the preview, and I do genuinely believe this, that if West Ham can be brave, and if we can push our wing backs a little bit higher, you'll nullify their width, which is problematic, which is where a lot of their play starts from. And then also you can create a lot of chances. You can create overloads down those, the wing backs, put balls into the box, make it difficult, look for Souček to have late runs into the box as well, overload it where City naturally struggle, and fingers crossed, we will try and get a result today. But let me know in the comments, let me know what you're saying about this game. Do you think West Ham can get anything from it? Do you think it's a game that we're going to struggle in? Would you have liked to have seen Said Benrahma? Someone confirmed, by the way, is he? I haven't checked the team sheet. I believe he's out. So a bit gutted about that because I did think it had a little bit of strength in depth. But nonetheless. Oh, right.
Taking her position up in the director's box, hoping that West Ham can perform yet again. Stay where you are. Kickoff is next. We look forward to getting your footballing Saturday underway here in East London.
Right.
Sponsored by 365.
I am really looking forward to this game. I genuinely am. I think it's one of them games where we've been a lot better in recent weeks. We are competing in games now. Defensively, I know we had a really poor performance in those first 16 minutes against Spurs, but typically both against Leicester and Wolves, we've looked great. We are strengthening as a squad and a side, but he seems to be getting him into that role that he wants him to be in, which is massively important. And obviously, Moyes, particularly with his management style, particularly with his sort of substitutions, you're going to look for him to create continuity and get the players used to the way that he wants to play. So naturally, over time, they will improve. They have shown a little bit of that. It's just about consistency. In my opinion, today's game, Liverpool, they're a bit free hits. Coming into this fixture list, we knew that these two games were going to be almost write-offs. It's a fortunate situation we're in now where we're thinking maybe we can get something from today if we're on top form, if we play the right system. So, let's just see. There's no real pressure. West Ham have done well. We're in the top half currently. We've got points on the board, and some of us thought we wouldn't get points at all so far. And particularly after that Newcastle game, a lot of people thought that, once we hadn't got the points against Newcastle, it was going to be difficult to pick them up elsewhere. But listen, get past these next two games, put in some good performances, possibly get some points. And then you're looking into November and thinking there are some winnable fixtures. I believe it's Fulham, Villa, and Sheffield United. So again, these are fixtures West Ham can win. Fixtures we can get points from. See Villa last night really struggled against Leeds' expansive play where they were switching that ball constantly and pulling them out of position. Again, you look for West Ham to overload in those wing areas, particularly against Villa, possibly get some points as well. Fulham are poor defensively. Haven't seen too much of them. I know they brought a few players in. And Sheffield United haven't looked the best this season either. So they are winnable games. It's a really interesting season so far. Particularly in terms of how West Ham have played and other Premier League teams have played. So I expect West Ham to do some decent performance, put some decent performances and get some decent results. And we'll see where we're at. I think a lot of us are surprised with the way that we're playing now. We do look like a proper side. Let's see how far we can go with this because, yes, it's not the most attractive football, but we are clinical. We do create chances. And I love watching us play sometimes. The transition from defence to attack is unbelievable. So, and I said it on Writer's Block the other week, I think in terms of that defensive transition, I can't think of too many teams currently on form that do it better than West Ham in terms of creating chances, switching from a low block, and creating so many chances for our forward men that, and there's an argument, of course, naturally with those forward men that they're not natural strikers. Is Fornals really a left winger? Is Antonio a natural centre forward? But again, we've scored goals, we've taken our chances. And it's been great to see. It has been absolutely great to see so far. So I'm looking forward to this game. I'm going to be joined today by two of the lads from Writer's Block as well. So I am looking forward to it. Getting them in as well. It's a bit of a laugh as well to see them in. So it'll be a fun one. It'll be a fun one. It depends how West Ham come out. I'm really super intrigued to see how West Ham approach this, and whether they attack Manchester City, whether they sit off them. You just don't know with Moyes. I'd expect Moyes to say to the lads, just go and do exactly what you did against Tottenham. But it does give me nightmares West Ham pressing against teams, because I'm thinking a low block, the back three are superb. I think they're really good, and particularly when you've got Declan Rice just covering in front as a bit of a foil, we look a bit stronger. When you start to see them push up a little bit, the pace isn't really there, and it can be exploited. And again, if you're getting exploited by the likes of Raheem Sterling and Mahrez, it is difficult. It is difficult for West Ham to kind of stop them and nullify them. So possibly see Soufal and Masuaku sit a little bit deeper with the two other centre defenders on either side of that three. Moyes still needs to not forget about Haller, 100%. That's another thing as well. Like, we haven't really seen Sebastian Haller in this side so far this season, and I'm not actually convinced we'll see too much of him if we continue to play in this system, because I don't think it suits him. Having said that, he came on against Wolves and he scored a goal. He's a good option to have, but obviously on current form, Mikel Antonio has been superb. A nervy start, I reckon. We need to close up shop first 15 minutes, possibly, mate. Let's just see what happens. I think because Manchester City have put Gundogan and Bernardo Silva in there, they're going to try and look to put pressure on West Ham, which is a smart move from Guardiola, particularly after watching that Spurs game. I hope West Ham just sit deep for 15, 20 minutes. And I think we soak up a bit of pressure against Manchester City just for those first 20 minutes, keep it tight, and then obviously as the game goes on, see if they create opportunities for us, because they will leave space in behind. That will happen eventually. Lots of comments coming on here. Looking at past results, TalkSport said today West Ham have got the third most points playing behind Codes, and it is suiting our play. I agree. I think we are looking very good in this system. I think we can get a result today, 2-1 West Ham, but it will depend on opening play and if Moyes can act again if we go behind. Exactly, yeah. I'm not sure about Moyes acting in the previous game. I know he brought on Lanzini and Yarmolenko, but I'm not massively convinced that was something to do with him. I thought it was to do with the potential injury to Antonio. I know he's fit today, but maybe I'm not giving him enough credit. Vamos, Deportivo Hammer. Let's let the big man in. Hello, mate. Had a shave. He's ready.
Just message you saying that I'm in. Yeah. In preparation for November, mate. Had to cut the beard off.
Nice. All right, we're just about to start. I think they're just coming out now. Oh, mate, I've had a nightmare. I've had to set up this new mic and everything. It's just taken me a while, so I was a bit behind.
Cool, man. I'm just getting a stream up now while I'm at it. So
sweet. Charles, the other counterpart in last week's antics, should be here soon, so that'll be funny.
Oh, good. Here we are. We got the animated duo. So.
Oh god. Honestly,
so gutted you didn't. Yeah. So gutted you didn't make the West Ham clips one. I thought that was a massive miscarriage of justice. That was.
Well, I think Charles told him off. So he was like, "Where are we?" And to be fair, I would have said we would have been on there somewhere. But I think he was saying that when you obviously type up the reactions, the channel's not going to come up as the top of the results, just because obviously Hammers Chat and West Ham Fan TV are a lot bigger. So it's fair enough. But listen, mate, I'll take it, because otherwise I could have been a meme. I could have been everywhere. So I'm happy just talking about West Ham and keeping it to that. It's not for me otherwise.
Yeah, man. I'm assuming you've spoken about it, but there's no Ben Rama.
Yeah. Well, I haven't actually checked the teams properly, but I think
he's
not.
He's not even on the bench, mate.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, a bit gutted really, because in my preview I kind of thought that he'd had a little bit of extra quality if we could bring him on later in the game. I didn't expect him to start, in fairness, but it's a bit disappointing. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just one of them things. He'll be back. Hopefully, he'll be in the game next week. I actually think maybe against Liverpool we play a bit of a higher line. It'll be a bit more effective. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's going to be a tough game today, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't put any City players in my fantasy team by the logic that Charles didn't put any Spurs players in his team.
Before the game kicks off, I put Patrick Bamford in my team last night. Last minute, hat-trick for Paddy Bamford. I'm just sitting there, sitting pretty, 17 points. But the only thing is, I put Martinez in goal. So
I put Rodriguez in my team on Wednesday. Did my team early because I forgot to do it last week. I thought, right, I'm putting Rodriguez in this week. Thursday, it's announced he's out injured. Damn Liverpool. Damn Liverpool.
Ooh. Come on, Mikel. Crazy. I don't know if we haven't spoken about this, but I think someone on Twitter said the View Cinema over the road in Stratford is available to watch the game, but you can't get into the stadium.
That is just it's bonkers. You can think if you even if you do double the amount of the government guideline social distancing in that stadium, you could still fit 10 to 15,000 people in. The problem is getting them in and out and policing fans in the concourse. I think is possibly the reason why, because you can imagine, especially if we win, everyone's boozed up. They want to start jumping up and down. Can you imagine being a steward? You wouldn't want to get in between that. Like, so that's probably the reason why, if I'm honest with you. My stream just skipped, and I've realised we've just kicked off.
We have, mate. Yeah, we have kicked off.
It was blurred on Antonio for about 30 seconds. Yeah, it says it all. When Hoddle says City love playing here, everyone knows it.
Yeah, it's a different feel today, mate, if I'm honest. Like, it's probably the first time in a long time we're playing against City where I feel like maybe we can get something from it, but they are unbelievable. They've got KDB on the bench as well, which is a real disappointment.
Do you remember the first season at the Olympic where we played City away quite early on, and Bilic played some next lineup that was like a circle? It was like they showed it online, and it was like we're playing like one centre mid and just had like two wide midfielders, two wingers, and two strikers. We started Antonio and Caleri up top, and it was just mental. And I remember saying, we're either going to see an absolute masterclass or we're going to get destroyed.
Yeah. And
we only lost 2-1, but I think the first 20 minutes, I think City had like 4 or 5 shots on goal. So that was weird. We've come a long way since then.
Well, it's the first time in a long time I think we're making some kind of progress. As a team, we look a little bit more well-versed in what we're doing. It does make a huge difference. There's not too much. Okay, Sterling's picked this up quite deep.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, come on. And this is the issue. This is the issue when you've got Souček and Rice pushing a bit far forward. And I think Joe Cole covered it on BT just before we kicked off. You leave space in behind. And obviously Sterling's just ran into it and he's drawing out defenders. That is an issue.
He is just offside.
I think you're behind, mate. I haven't seen it yet.
They're just about to take the corner where I'm at.
Oh, nice. All right, then. Fine. We're on the same
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, I can hear the commentary on your end. You're probably about half a second ahead of me.
Oh, I'll turn it
Half.
down a bit.
No, that's fine. It's not a problem. Just me.
No,
means-
take the old YouTube get onto me.
Yeah.
Turn it off. Sorry. I'll play when I did the stream last week. It was on as well, so I was a bit like, oh,
Yeah.
got away with that one. God, look at Arthur playing really high there as well.
Did very well to keep that in. Oh, Mickey's just turned 3 or 4 too many times, so. I'll win that. Fabianski not taking a touch.
God, I'll tell you what. City are pressing, aren't they? I kind of thought they would. Just because in the midfield as well, Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. I mean, they could have put. I can't even remember who else it was going to line up with. But I thought it would have been like a Phil Foden. But I think Bernardo Silva gives them a little bit more in that centre midfield in terms of driving with the ball. Foden's more of a 10, isn't he? So.
Bernardo Silva is close control is so much more developed than Foden's at the minute. I mean, don't get me wrong, Foden is one hell of a prospect, but Bernardo Silva is just a cut above at the minute.
Oh, good clearance.
Not so much from Bowen. Bowen just patting Aguero on the head there.
Yeah, we're a bit under the cosh here, to be fair. It's been hard for us to pick up kind of any rhythm at all.
Yeah, I mean, as much as you know, Mickey's an athlete, he's not going to be able to run that fast to get onto that ball. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and commentators have just said virtually the same thing, like wondering what going through Mikel Antonio's head.
Yeah,
there he is again.
Look at this overload as well.
No, on the overlap, straight through. Very good defending by Ogbonna. Good little touch by Souček. Oh, Pablo.
The thing is, when you see it, you've got Masuaku is pushing up really, really high. So it's clearly the sort of motive to try and nullify him. But look at that. I mean, once Cancelo or as Kyle Walker gets past him, they just overlap on that side.
Yeah.
You do worry on that side because it is Aaron Creswell coming out to try and meet either Riyad Mahrez or Kyle Walker. So.
I mean, look, I've not said many kind words about Aaron Cresswell on our time on the podcast, and he's proven me wrong so far. So, you know, let's hope he keeps up proving me wrong. That's all I'm saying. Godspeed, Aaron.
That's a foul, isn't it?
Just about. Yeah, he's given it.
I'd love to see West Ham get a bit of a set piece against Man City because I just think we can exploit them a bit.
To be fair, do you remember the free kick Cresswell put in under last time Moyes played City? Well, not last time we played City under Moyes, but when Moyes was last in charge, we had a game against City, but we got back in it, and Cresswell had a great free kick where Carroll pushed into the wall. So, to be fair, set pieces have been our bag against City in the past, even though we've had no results. Our only goal against them has come from set piece. So.
Got West Ham though. Look at the press. Got a lot of numbers in their half. Even look at Declan Rice and Souček's positioning as well. It's just hard, man. It's really hard to try and squeeze Man City. because they are so good at passing and they are so good at getting behind.
It's literally all. It's the DNA that Pep puts into his teams. I mean, Bayern used to play like this a few years ago, just not quite as successful.
I'll well clear that. Go on. Go on, Bob. Carry it.
Yes.
He's going to commit a foul now. Look, watch.
He's looking for the foul. He's looking for the foul.
That's it. Go on, West Ham. Nice.
Yes.
Foul.
All good.
Foul. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one, if I'm honest. I'm not too sure. I've seen to quote again, if anyone's watching me, to quote a good friend John, whenever Liverpool go down, I've seen them given. So anyone watching that knows my mate John will get that reference. I've gone Bowen's through again.
Oh well.
Against any other team that goes out for a corner, but because City, they've got the extra man back, haven't they? Christ.
Yeah. But Rodri just sitting in there. It's really tough. They're pressing their fullback high as well. Minute Jared looks up, he's got Cancelo right at him.
Right at him, and exactly the same thing with Mazuaki with Walker at right back, or whoever they've got. It's Walker they're playing right back today, isn't it? I didn't get a chance to see the City line up in full. I just saw their attacking options, not their defence.
Yeah, I think they got Diaz, they got Garcia's come back in, which I didn't think he was going to be fit for the game. And then you've obviously got Cancelo on the left, Walker on the right. It's just hard, isn't it? Like, the thing is, like, they're kind of underrated, Manchester City's fullbacks a little bit, because when you see them, you don't immediately think that Manchester City play with width, because in that final third, a lot of it's quite intricate. But look at Walker there. You've got to track him as well. That's fantastic as well. Mazuaki's going to have to be doing that a lot today. That was going to be won in those areas, 100%.
And it goes back to everything we've said on the writer's block, investment in those areas. That is the way the football's gone, is the areas you need to invest in, not in flashy number 10s and strikers and centre-backs, or baby centre-backs, but not where Sullivan thinks you need to invest in. You need to invest in full-backs now. You need to have versatile centre-mids that can be defensive and attacking. People like Soucek. I mean, they just flashed up the percentage. They've had 70% possession percentages.
I don't mind West Ham not having possession. I think the style just concedes possession a lot.
Yeah,
we haven't created a lot of chances, and I do think that is because of the Kyle Walker and Cancelo are pushing back.
I mean, look there. Walker was in acres of space. He knows exactly where to be, and suddenly, it pulls players away. But it was more, that was more just a testament to how City, like the way City plays. They're sort of almost the perfect opponents for us in the way that, like you said, our style, we don't necessarily need the ball. Yeah. But in practice, it doesn't quite work out like that. And if they keep shooting like that, they can shoot like that all day, as far as I'm concerned. More of that, please, Gundogan.
The problem you've got is, what are you laughing at?
I'm saying I'm going to regret laughing at that shot because he's going to score a screamer next to me, and I'm like,
scored a really good goal in the Champions League. Really good goal. It's just hard. I think the problem is now you've got. I thought it was a great take from Antonio, but because of the midfield runners, you just look at them and you think, are they going to try and overload that central area just in behind Rice and Souček? Because they are in this system, they are playing a little bit higher. Aguero's not really running on the shoulder. He has done there, and that's really well cleared by Balbuena. But he's kind of coming into that 10 role, picking it up because there is space there. So it is a concern. It was a little bit against Tottenham as well. Come on, West Ham. Come on, the Irons. Fingers crossed, mate. 13 minutes. Do you know what it feels like forever? It feels like I've been watching this game forever because it's stressful, isn't it? Like, particularly against City, you watch it for periods of time where you're like, all right, let's just get to half time here.
It's one of those games where you think I hate saying it, or if it's goalless at the 65th minute or something like that, then you can start thinking about it. It's like, but how many times when we go in with that mentality, how often does it?
Did you see that? Diaz.
Very good defense. But Soufal, brilliant cover in there.
That's an unbelievable ball, by the way. That's really cut us open. And I think that's why it's good we need these five defenders, because you've got Soufal that's going to cover like that.
Soufal. And I'm like, that's also, as much as we don't want to talk about praising the opposition, that was a brilliant run from a defender. Considering that was a defender, that's the type of run your centre forward would be proud of. The timing of it, he was level with Balbuena, he had eyes on Balbuena, he knew when to go. That was brilliant. Glad it didn't go in. But...
Well, I think Man City have been clever, actually, because when I did my preview, I didn't. There was a lot of highlights of them not trying to pepper the box with crosses, but they have played that switch cross a number of times because I think they know that our back three will try and push out as quickly as possible. And obviously Diaz has done really well there to stay on side and get on the end of it. Problem is, if that's Sergio Aguero, the likelihood is that he's going in the net because he knows what to do. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. I'm going to have to put a jumper on in a minute, mate. My flat is absolutely freezing.
Oh, my landlord has put the heating on, and we are laughing now. We're not laughing. We're very, very appreciative. So I doubt he's watching, but if you're watching, Mehul, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna have to get the electric heater out.
I remember we had those first flat anecdote time. My first flat I moved into, my mate Seamus, the heating didn't work at all, and we're into December, and we had to have so many electric heaters in our living room and just shut everything off and just like insulate the heat. And finally, they managed to fix the heat in like second week of December.
Yeah,
it was an absolute nightmare, mate.
Oh,
that's a good goal. Oh.
It's great movement from Aguero there as well.
Yeah. As much as we don't want. Yeah.
And the issue you've got here is, like I've said, he makes it from deep. He makes it from like that 10 roll, and then West Ham can't pick him up.
It's just very good, very, very, very good blocking from Cresswell there. Go on, I'm going to praise Cresswell. And my stream's gone. Okay, so last thing so something could be happening now. I don't know.
I think a massive positive in this game as well, from defensively, is I think in a number of times, I think Balbuena's come over to that left-hand side and Cresswell's come over to that right. And that's something West Ham I've been critical of previously, where we haven't really covered for one another. And that back three, though, they seem to be a little bit more, they take more accountability.
Yeah.
And they're tracking the runners. And obviously we've done well to cut off Sergio there. Good ball over the top. Go on, Bowen. Oh. Some battle, isn't it, between Cancelo and Bowen? It's going to be really tough. And like literally, he's got Garcia on ice, but then Cancelo's so quick, he just gets back. West Ham, come on. That's a poor touch from Souček. Keeps it in. Great ball from Soufal. Oh! Oh my God! Oh my God! No
I
way!
missed it!
Overhead kick. Mikel Antonio. Oh my
Oh, as
God!
if I fucking missed that! You bastards!
What a goal! What a goal! That is unbelievable, West Ham. Under the cosh, 20 minutes, ball comes in, Mikel Antonio back to goal and puts it past one of the best keepers in the league. Fantastic. What a goal, West Ham. And that's what it's about, mate. Taking the chances. Sorry. Done it again. So comes back, Soufal plays it in. They don't deal with the cross, and that is an unbelievable. He must be one of the most informed strikers in the league at the moment, Mikel Antonio. It's a first time overhead kick as well. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. That is unreal.
And for anyone watching, my screen cut out after the Aguero chance. So I missed all of it. Gutting. Absolute gutting. None of my streams are working. So I'm blind right now, but buzzing. Come on, you irons.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
On a scale of Ashton to Colton Cole, how good an overhead kick was it?
I'd say it's better than both and the only reason I say this is purely because it's a first-time cross, and he's not. Whereas the Ashton, he had time to assess it. Carton had time to assess it. He hasn't even taken a touch. He's literally overhead kick from the cross that's behind him. And even the angle. I mean, I'm not sure how Antonio's managed to pull that off. In all honesty, that is gorgeous. That is absolutely different gear, mate. That is class.
Oh, it's unreal.
West Ham on the attack. Antonio stretching play now. That's a great ball. Oh God, West Ham pressing high. This is what I said in the preview. West Ham have got to be brave, and we have. That's another. Oh my God, what a ball from Aaron Creswell. Sorry, mate. I know it's a bit annoying because you can't see.
That's all right. I'm switching websites now. Footy Pass has been reliable for you for so long. I'm switching to First Row Sports. First Row Sports have never let me down.
What a goal. Oh my God, that is filth. Absolute filth. Oh my God, what a goal. How can you score a worldie against, Tottenham and then score that against Man City?
We're massive, mate.
Well, we're huge. We're absolutely huge.
We are massive.
Is high. Hello, mate. West Ham are 1-0 up here. City with the overload. West Ham have dealt with it really well.
All right.
That's a fantastic tackle, Declan Rice. West Ham pressing them back to their defenders as well. Different gear, mate. Absolutely different gear from West Ham. He's let him have it in that wide area now. It's a great tackle from Arthur Masuaku. That's not a free kick. Have you got any stream, mate, or am I just...
I have got a stream, but I'm a bit behind. I've just had the Cresswell ball. Just had the Cresswell ball in. That was unreal.
That is a tasty little ball.
Perfect
goal.
Sort of ball you want to fall to Souček.
Have you seen the goal yet?
No, still haven't seen the goal. Still not seen the goal. I've only just got the stream back.
God. It's class. It is class.
Oh, they're talking about it being a handball now or something. Of course, if it was Aguero, they wouldn't be chatting about that. But
what are they saying, mate?
They're chuntering on about, was it a handball or not?
Do we know we're playing you next week? I know we're playing. I mean, this is the thing, and I said this just before it sort of kicked off. How we haven't seen a more competitive West Ham team in a long, long time, and the league this season's so open that you do get games like this. And West Ham, we weathered a bit of a storm in those first 10, 15 minutes, and we took our chance when we had it, and we've only had one clear-cut chance. So I mean, that is West Ham style at the moment. That's okay.
And don't worry, it was Ian, the Liverpool fan, wasn't it? He's a West Ham fan today. Well, don't worry. You're going to lose to us next week as well. We're an equal opportunities employer. We ruin everyone's day. So we're going to ruin City's day, and then we'll ruin day next week. Don't worry. Oh, I've just seen it. I've just seen it.
Mate, you've missed
Oh my God!
Oh,
Oh, I finally.
Oh, sorry, lads.
West Ham.
yeah, turn it off, man. We got.
Who let this guy in?
Come on!
You missed.
Don't worry,
me.
Charles. I missed the goal. I've only just seen it. I've only just seen a replay.
You've
but-
got a glory, Dennis.
Yeah, all my streams just went down. Like they got suspended. So
Mate, I'm
Like,
absolutely
probably
bear this
control
one.
the league, mate. Phil,
I've had an absolute bear with the internet.
have you?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
mate.
fuck yeah, what a goal, boys! My God.
I know. I've just seen it. The athleticism is unreal.
Well, I said
Oh.
you've got that fact that it's a first time cross and it's a first, and he's not taking it on the chest or anything. He's actually just first time over a kick past Edison. It's unreal from Antonio. It's absolutely class.
But also, like, I mean, Souček's touch as well. Like, to be fair, he wins the ball back really well.
Yeah.
The touch is heavy, and you think, oh, it's going to go out of play.
Yeah,
Keeps it
right.
in. And then Soufal, what a first time ball. And then Antonio just does what he does. Amazing.
Oh, you missed it. You missed it, man. I reckon you'd have been going nuts. You could have had another reaction video of you on there.
Oh, Mikey.
So where are we now? Because I've just had Soufal's just won us a throw-in.
Oh, Antonio stretching that City defence. Mikel Antonio. That's got to be a penalty, surely.
That's what I thought. No, maybe
Tell you
not.
what.
I don't know.
Let's have a look. I don't know. He doesn't get the ball. He takes out the man. It's
Yeah. Oh,
but
shit.
don't get me wrong. Personally, if that was against West Ham, I feel that's a little bit
Oh,
soft.
my
Oh, it's too much.
Boys, we're 1-0 up against City. This has never
God.
happened
But
before.
those,
Come on, man.
we were saying in the stream that the fullbacks for City are causing us all kinds of problems. It's really trying about us kind of nullifying them a little bit because when they get forward, they're unbelievable. They've got so much pace and they get a whipping a ball like that.
Yeah.
I thought this one was going in, to be fair. I thought Mahrez
Yeah.
maybe would have got that.
Yeah, no, it's kind of, I guess it was a bit of a tight angle, but you'd normally think you'd stick those in, don't you? Yeah, I mean those like you said on the preview, Corey, those
Oof.
fullbacks were always going to be a problem. But yeah, I think, I mean, we from what I've seen so far, at least, we've defended better than we have done against Tottenham, which is good. And obviously, counter-attacking wise, we're lethal. So if we can just keep that up, and I mean, I don't know how long we can hold the barricades up for the City attack, but
Yeah.
if we can keep on with how we're doing at the moment, I think we'll be in good hands.
I'm a little bit behind, but as a good clean catch from Fabianski there, that was a bit worrying. But old safe fans has done us there. So
Was that the Mahrez? Was that the Mahrez chance? Yeah.
Mahrez got jinking through. Yeah.
I tell you what, City are not going to give up today.
No, I don't think they can. Oh, and do you know what I was saying? Is what I should say as well. When I tried to look at it pre-match and sort of assess Manchester City, and not a lot of their play come through crossfield balls or deliveries into the box. This game, they've seen West Ham play a little bit higher with that back three, and every now and then they're trying to get on that last man. And I've got to say as well, Sergio Aguero's movement is unreal. Like absolute. And the problem we've got, he's not sitting on Angelo Ogbonna. He's coming deep and then making a late run, and he's making it difficult for those back three to pick him up. So he's going to, honestly, and they've got KDB on the bench, which I imagine if they're still 1-0 down at half time.
Yeah, they will bring him on. They will look to bring him on. They will.
But, I mean, that's the thing that we I mean, I'm still giddy about 1-0. I just can't believe we're 1-0 up. When has this ever happened against City?
Well, but this is the thing, mate. Like this season, we're competitive. In this system, we're competitive. The players we've got now as well. Me and Dennis were speaking about it previously. It was a bit gutting that obviously Saïd Benrahma wasn't in the squad today. But because I think he would have added a little bit more quality off that bench. But ultimately, our first team now, they're really working in tandem. And a couple of chances Man City have created, Balbuena come over to the left for Creswell. Creswell's come over to the right for Balbuena. It's exactly what you want to see. Defensively, we're a little bit more switched on.
Well, that's the thing. I think I would have been annoyed if we had have made any changes. And I think X saying that Benrahma had a slight sort of fitness issue or something like that. But I mean, to be fair, I'm not gutted that he's not in the squad. If you know what I mean. I think like you say, I think there's so much. We're doing so well together as a unit right now. Then there doesn't really need to be any sort of widespread changes. Of course, I'd like to see him in the squad at some point, and hopefully for the next game he will be. But yeah, I mean, God, they're going to be relentless, aren't they?
It's probably the wrong. It's probably the wrong game for Cy Benrahma, if I'm honest, because I've kind of underestimated. Wait, hang on. Oh, well done, Declan Rice. Picks it up and drives. He's all over him. Oh, come on, West Ham. On the count. Oh, God. Okay, fair enough.
I'm still a little behind you, boys. I'm watching City play keep ball at the minute.
That's what I love. Declan Rice, when he gets that ball and he drives now as well. So impressive.
He's one of the best sort of. He's one of the best people. Oh, God. Honestly, this is the trouble, is that this isn't like flipping Norwich we're playing. This is it's like European royalty.
Look how deep we are.
I kind of like it. That's the funny thing. I kind of like it. It's like it at least gives them no opportunity to get in behind us.
Well, this is the issue, is because if West Ham played like we did against Spurs, you've always got that 10 to kind of pick it up. And I think early doors, Sterling picked it up in that 10 and drove. And I was like, oh, here we go. Because if they get behind Rice, it is difficult. And obviously, Guardiola not having Foden in the squad and then opting for Bernardo Silva suggests that he wants runners from midfield, not really looking at picking the ball up. Because I guess he thinks that West Ham are going to play a low block. And we are playing very low.
Lovely. Yeah, well, I mean, it seems to be sort of... it seems to be doing very well against their attack anyway. I mean, there's just been a ball going and nothing fruitful there. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like the low defence. Just as long as the midfield don't get too high up, make sure they stay compact with the defensive line, because if they do, then that's when like you say, Corey, that's when the sort of holes are going to start opening up for those number 10s, and they're going to start infiltrating that. So, but from what I've seen, we do look solid. I don't know what Moyes is complaining about.
Wait, do you know what? Doing it, this is actually probably the most enjoyable thing to do, these watch-alongs with two other people, because it feels a little bit like
it's great,
like a Saturday type vibe, which is sort of like
it's like whereas I can imagine if you're watching it by yourself, you're like you if you were watching it without being a stream, you wouldn't be sat there just talking about the game. You'd be sat there thinking about it. So it's more like, it's a little bit more, at least you got people to talk to or talk at, rather than people watching the stream.
That's nice plants in the background. This is actually my brother's room. He's got a much nicer room than I do, so this is sort of like my studio. But I appreciate it. It's his birthday as well, so happy birthday to Kit.
Told his brother.
This is his birthday present from me. A 1-0
I got you what every West Ham fan wanted on his birthday. I told the team to win.
Oh God, but yeah, I mean, every time City attack, I'm gonna have a heart attack. But I mean, we've seen he's done very well there, hasn't he?
He's very good from that left wing back. Really is.
Oh. But that's just
we're gonna have to sync up at some point, because you're like about 5 seconds.
I think here's the funny thing. I think at the start I was a couple of maybe 5-10 seconds ahead of you, Corey. Yeah. But now I think I've had a few delays, so I think it's actually synced up with you now.
I'm about a minute behind you, so
I'm at 32:15.
Yeah, I'm at 31. I'm at 31:33. Masuaku's just on his good bit.
That's nearly my level, mate. That's nearly my level last week.
Yeah.
Dennis,
right.
Dennis, has it just kicked off?
No, I think we're still doing pre-match, just talking about Man City.
Still watching Jake Humphries.
Yeah, still to see.
I remember watching, like, going back watching ages ago. It was like I think we were playing Man United on the opening game of the season. It was when we had like Joe Hart was making his debut, Hernandez, everyone, and it was like all the talk was about Jose Mourinho and Lukaku, and it was like, oh, and West Ham. What about West Ham today? Like with 45 seconds to go, and my mate I was watching it with, who's a Liverpool fan, goes, Sky just hate West Ham, don't they? They just hate West Ham, and I'm like, yeah,
they just don't like lower league.
Yeah.
Well, not league, but lower level teams. I mean, I think it has to be a money. I mean, everything is to do with money.
Yeah.
These days. I think it has to be a money making sort of issue. But yeah, I mean, you know, I kind of like it. I kind of like being under the radar because it just means that people sort of don't expect anything from us, and then when we do turn up, they're like, oh, you know what, these guys are actually all right. They're decent. So.
Well, I remember watching that. It might have been that game, but I think it was when we beat United 3-1. Felipe Anderson with his sort of back heel finish.
Yeah.
It was either that game or it was another game. I know it actually might have been the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer game where we won 2-0 Creswell free kick. And Gary Neville for 90 minutes did not stop talking about Manchester United, which I understand. He's obviously a bit of an icon at United. He played there for God knows how many years, won whatever.
Yeah.
At the same time, like you can't almost look at United out of context. You have to look at them and see how well West Ham played that day. Creswell's high there. That's the thing. That gives me heart attacks when I see Creswell getting that high. You'd hope that Declan Rice would just sit a little bit deeper and cover, because I think if it happens, City can break and they've got the pace to kind of expose it a bit. But fair play to you.
Yeah, you know how you did the highlight video of us reacting? I think we should do another separate video for every time Cresswell gets up forward, because
we should have we should have you know, like have the Cresswell a meter. We just have the Cresswell fuck up a meter, where it's like every time he does something.
But that's the thing, is that like he's been playing. I mean, he's been. Oh, sorry, lads. I'm gonna get us kicked off stream.
Bowen, Bowen getting back there as well. By the way, serious work. Like, City were on the counter.
I don't know what work rate you want about. He's currently stood outside the City box waiting for a corner. What are you on about?
Wait, you just wait your turn, okay?
It's my turn. It's my turn to be behind.
I've been there, mate. It's a nightmare, honestly.
Yeah. Oh no! At least you saw the
goal yet.
I've seen a slow-mo replay of it.
How good was that goal, though, boys? Honestly, that boy's just different class. Honestly, he's different gravy.
Who, Antonio or Lanzini?
Antonio.
No, do you know what? Fair play to him, and I think that finish is unbelievably difficult, and we kind of had this sort of the few questions when he moved into this sort of central role, a bit like what Moyes did with Arnie. And it was like, can he do it? And I said, look, his finishing is not great, but if we keep playing in there, he should improve. And I think we've just seen a level of consistency from him that's phenomenal, to be honest. And I know his contract's running out end of next summer. You should give him a 2 or 3 year deal, wouldn't you? I mean, he's unbelievable. His work rate. He's that player that you just want in that first team, even if we're not winning. Because that's a great take from Arthur Masuaku. Sorry,
that's Mikey.
I'm currently looking at Pep on the touchline.
Ooh, Pep on the touchline.
I'm about 45 seconds behind you guys, I think. So.
To be fair, like in midweek, Corey and I tried to find a way where we could sync it up together. We'll have to find out how to do it, because
get in there, Blake. Smash a like and subscribe. Good to hear, man. Central United State watching it.
Gonna say, Blake, tell us what you're having for breakfast, mate. Make sure you're having breakfast while watching this. Well, that was a very good touch from Masuaku.
Hey lads, does the mic sound better? Just that.
Mate, honestly, it's crisp. It's like, beautiful.
I bought this because I messaged you before we set up, and I was having a head fix. I'd come back from town, and I was like, "Oh God, I've got to set it up." And I thought it'd be like really, really easy, but it wasn't. It's fiddly. Like you got to put it together, like all this kind of stuff. And I was thinking, "Oh no, the stream." So I had to come on and apologise early doors and say, "Look, I'm trying to set up with a new." But fingers crossed, should be getting a camera in about 2 weeks. So
it looks pro, mate.
I mean, I've just got a pair of JVC headphones, so
you got your finger.
Yeah, Daddy, I've got to step up our game.
We've got to step up our game. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get one of those like WWF ring announcer ones that come from the ceiling. Ladies and gentlemen, scheduled for one fall.
I massively underestimated like the audio, like the importance of audio. Like very early doors, I was like, it doesn't really matter too much. And I was watching something the other day. I was thinking, if only I could. And all my setup was wrong because I kept fading in and out of the mic. I was like, oh God, it's so frustrating. And I did my preview yesterday with the old mic, figured out the positions. Like, sounds 10 times better. And I think it's really good because, to be honest, like some of the content in the videos are like fantastic. There's like brilliant insight. I just want them to be able to hear it. So,
did you use it yesterday for the match preview?
What's that, mate?
Did you use it for the match preview yesterday?
No, it's the first time I used it. It was touch and go as to whether I'd get it today. And I was out and it got delivered. So I ran back and was like, oh God, because it was outside my... Oh, that's a decent-ish ball.
Foul.
Go on. West Ham playing really well here, soaking up a lot of pressure, dealing with that width from Manchester City. Manchester City as well, they seem that the element of pace has gone out of their play. They're a bit more pedestrian. They can't find the way past West Ham now.
Well, they're forcing the ball. Masuaku's been playing amazingly,
brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly.
Oh, stream, come on, don't worry. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like you say, Corey, I mean, the game plan that didn't work at Tottenham has so far worked beyond the expectations so far.
He's got it right, and I think there is a natural tendency, and anyone that's watched Manchester City, the first 20 minutes are the worst thing to watch because they zip that ball around, they try and use the width, they try and pull you apart. Leeds struggled against them, a lot of teams do. After that 20 minutes, when you put a low block on against them, they do struggle. They get frustrated by Leeds, they got frustrated by Leicester. West Ham are frustrating them massively now. And it's good to see as well, Rice sit a little bit deeper. They can't play the ball into those areas anymore. And because they can't do that, it's becoming more and more difficult for them to create chances. Listen, what are we on now? 40 minutes and West Ham look okay. We're 1-0 up and we look fine.
Someone's decided to set fire to my kitchen in my place. I'm sorry about that, guys. You can hear that. Don't know. Could you guys hear that?
Honestly.
I live with cretins. It's fine.
That's all right.
We have a free kick. I don't know if I'm allowed to be excited about this.
No.
No, all right, fair. I haven't heard anything out of you guys, so I'm assuming nothing happens. Yeah, nothing.
That goal was absolute filth. I still can't get over it. Jeez. They're showing it now. In the 40th minute, it's still going. We must have seen it like 20 times.
There's only going to be 2 goals on Goal of the Week. It's going to be Lanzini's goal. It's going to be Antonio's goal.
Down here.
Also, I'll just have I've got a little announcement to make to everyone. If anyone wants fantasy football tips, right, just go on my team, see who I've benched and put them in your team. Because I've just benched Antonio and he's gone and done one.
By the way, Charles, I put in Patrick Bamford last minute last night. No,
you didn't.
Jamie has, mate. Jamie has. But go on, Paddy Bamford.
Patrick Bamford.
Oh, go on. Done really well there. Oh, sorry. I think that was Antonio. I don't know if you just saw that, but I thought he was going to get. He's having a right laugh against those centre backs because Garcia and Diaz, physically, they're. And I said this in the preview. Like, I know it sounds a bit sketchy, but they're only 5'11" as centre backs. And you back Antonio with your physical presence to really. I mean, it's a different story if you've got Laporte in that side because I think he's mustard, but. I think Antonio's given them the right run around. He's quick, he's strong. It's difficult for him. They're getting pulled out of position, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I think someone a week ago. Jesus, I think a week ago, someone was saying that Antonio probably is the hardest striker to defend against in potentially world football just because of his overall physicality. So, no wonder why 5'11". Go on, Ricey. Go on, Jared. Oh, boys, we're doing great. We're playing great.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant, Declan Rice, Jarrod Bowen, and I said this the other day on Writer's Block. I said, in terms of that's a great ball as well. Picks him out. Oh, Masuaku. Oh, West Ham again putting the pressure on. That transition from defence to attack is unbelievable for West Ham. We might be one of the best teams at doing it in the league so far. I've never seen us play this quickly from back to front.
Well, the thing is, it is great counter-attacking football in all respects because we're defending well, but we're also potent in the attack. And, I think West Ham of old would probably make those attacks, but waste them like woefully.
Yeah.
So, I think now we're actually being so much more potent and dangerous. And, even Pep said in the build-up to this game that we're a dangerous team. I think that's a
I'm a little bit behind, but that ball from Rice was something, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
That was something.
And the thing is, as well, Souček as well with the strike. I mean, how he's gone from defence, sitting deep, to just bombing on and getting a shot off. He's like, it causes teams nightmares. It really, really does.
Souček's great at getting forward.
As I said, starting 11, this is great. The problem is, as I keep saying, is when we inevitably pick up some niggling injuries or suspensions, we're very light in certain areas. Dennis, shut up about that. Like, come on, we're beating Man City. Come on.
Just save it for Writer's Block, mate.
Save it for Writer's Block. Hey, come on, let's get the jingoism out. Come on.
Corey and I looked like absolute idiots after the Tottenham game when when we were calling for Moyes to go out.
Oh God, yeah.
I want to sign him to a 5-year deal now.
Lovely ball. What a ball from Soufal. Oh. And as well, and I don't think we've spoke about this enough as West Ham fans, Soufal's addition since he's come into the side, he's been superb. And I don't think it's a drastic change. It's not a huge difference, but actually the fact that going forward he's very good in terms of delivery. Like, this geezer's doing my nutting. Wait, hang on.
Who are we looking for here?
Keeps going West Ham week and stuff. I can't get rid of him. He's stuck.
Wait,
was that text? Is it text long?
Yeah, someone kick him out.
Who's this? That's the beauty of football.
Yeah, do you know what? Soufal before my attention got distracted, but yeah, he's been great defensively going forward. His quality's there as well. It's good to see it, and it is that improvement on Fredericks. And I don't think we'd be seeing, in terms of counter-attacking football, us looking as good going forward.
Well, that's the thing. I think, like, I do feel bad for Fredericks because he was actually playing quite well at the start of the season, but there are definitely there have been defensive sort of deficiencies in his game, and with Soufal, you have an overall well-rounded player who's just
what it shows more than anything for me is that there are affordable options out there in not so established low reputation leagues such as the Czech League that can come in and make an immediate impact. We've seen 2 examples. You don't have to spend 30 odd million from someone who has, prerequisite. They have to be fluent in either Spanish or Portuguese and have the name Cruz in their name in order to be considered a good fullback. Soufal has been brilliant. Or is it half time now?
Half time, yeah.
No, we're still playing. We're still playing, mate.
Keep up, mate. Keep up.
Keep up. Technology, come on. My stream has stopped, so it is half time. I don't care. I'm done with this.
Right,
you sound like an old geezer now, Dennis. It's bloody technology.
I am a 50-year-old man of the 28-year-old's body. You do know that.
Just for all 16 watching, obviously West Ham are 1-0 up against Manchester City. A real positive defensive performance. We've taken our chances going forward. 1 ball into the box with Antonio. One of the best overhead kicks I've seen from West Ham in a long, long time. I think Dennis mentioned as well about the Carlton Cole Dean Ashton overhead kicks. It's definitely up there, if not better. It's been brilliant from West Ham. It's been really, really encouraging. I think before the game, I was a bit concerned we play that high press against City, get exposed. I actually think there's a lot of in-game management going on with West Ham, where first 10, it seemed like they were getting a lot of luck, a lot of space in behind. West Ham seemed to have sat a little bit deeper, soaked up a bit of pressure, and we're frustrating City. I expect City to bring somebody on to try and change this game up a little bit, because they're lacking creativity, and there's obviously one man on that bench, Kevin De Bruyne, that if anything you can say about him, he is creative.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Go ahead, Dennis.
I was going to say, yeah, like if anyone's going to come on and make a difference, it's going to be Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, I'm just looking at the lineups now on their bench. I mean, Zinchenko is a very good footballer, as is, Foden, but De Bruyne is the name there that I'm like is going to come on and make a difference in the middle of the park for them. I mean, Zinchenko and Foden don't necessarily add anything to what they've already got on the pitch, where compared to what Kevin De Bruyne brings to it. So Kevin De Bruyne, depending on how fit he can be and how much Pep Guardiola wants to risk him, does he want to risk bringing him on and aggravating whatever injury? Because I wasn't aware he was injured or the extent of his injury. If he feels it's a risk to bring on, is he going to bring him on? It wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't bring him on at all if he feels that he's not fit enough to change the game. So it all really depends on a lot of if, buts and maybes for me.
Yeah, I think, De Bruyne is definitely one of the best. I mean, he is the best player in the league. Let's cut the rubbish. He is the best player in the league, and so if you bring him on, he's going to have opportunities and he's going to do what he does. Like you say, Dennis, it's whether it's to me, it's a matter of when, not if. They are going to bring him in the game, I think. Maybe not straight away, but I think they will eventually. If they're not breaking through our defence again, then he's going to be the man. He's going to do that, I think.
Yeah, but it's a caveat that slightly. When Calvin Phillips, particularly in that second half against Man City, just sat on him and made it really difficult for De Bruyne to make any late runs and get any space, you can nullify him, but it is a little bit of a man-marking job because he's so good. He just needs one ball into the box. And I expect when you bring someone like KDB on, he's going to try and get that ball in behind. And I think a couple of times, particularly in that first 10, 15 minutes when City started playing a few crossfield balls, they were able to get in behind our defence a little bit more. And obviously, if you had KDB to that is going to happen. I pulled up a question here, lads, so we'll take it at half-time as well. Are we getting better value out of ex-championship players hungry for success rather than overpriced overseas players? If I'm honest, well, I mean, overseas players are... You've got to look at Soufal and Souček. I don't think it's necessarily... I think a lot of it, which is more impressive, is the players that we're bringing have the right attitude. And I think that's crucial. You have to buy into what Moyes wants to do. And I have been critical in terms of that Benrahma signing because I wasn't convinced that it was a Moyes signing. But you can look at Soufal, and obviously I won't say Craig Dawson because I'm not sure how well he's going to do. But Dawson is someone Moyes wants, and he's going to buy into that Moyes system. And I think we've seen a lot of players, particularly in this current system, Aaron Creswell, Arthur Masuaku, that they've bought into it. They've become better players working within this. So, yeah, kind of true that if you look at the championship players that are hungry for it, that is one aspect of it. The other aspect is they are starting to believe in what Moyes wants to create. And I think it's showing on the pitch now. We are getting a team that's a little bit more balanced. I mean, we're competitive. And that's all you can really ask as a fan. As West Ham, you don't expect to win every game, but you want us to compete. And if you compete, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case of, I think, rather than it being, because partially part of that statement was focused on is overpriced, because if you look at the outlay on Sutton and Anderson compared to the combined fee of Soufal and Souček, now, yes, you got one very good season out of Anderson, but when Anderson came, although he wasn't necessarily the best player at Lazio, there was probably that mentality of I'm coming to West Ham to help them step up from where they were before. Whereas the mentality of Jordan Bowen is I've been given an opportunity to show what I can do in a better league, i.e. Souček and Coufal. So what is better value for money for me is signing players of quality that have something to prove. I'm not saying a player that has played at the top level that is like, I can still show on the top level, like what's happened with Jack Wilshere, Yarmolenko and Anton, a player that has come, because a lot, again, when we signed Souček, a colleague of mine at work was like, yeah, but that's the Czech league, Dennis. His statistics, his goals, that's the Czech league. It's just the Czech league. He's now scored all those goals for us in the Premier League. It makes perfect sense. It was great business. Whereas Anderson, when he came in, and big supporter of Anderson. I felt he's been harshly treated by the fans. However, the fact is, when he came from Lazio, I guarantee you, not on a knock on him, but the view was, I've come from Lazio, a European club with a lot of European pedigree, to West Ham to bring them up to a level. I am the star that has come to you to make you better, rather than I have gone to a better team, which I'm going to help play for, which is the mentality we want. We want players that view West Ham as the land of opportunity, as well as somewhere for them to progress. I'm not talking about a stepping stone or a feeder club or anything like that, but the fact that Souček and Koufal have come in and right away made an impact from a Champions League side. I mean, they were playing Champions League football before they played for us. Really shows the sort of player we want to be getting in my opinion. So that's where it is. Now, if you do apologise, do excuse me, gentlemen. I do need to go just get a drink very quickly, so I will be back in 1 minute. I'm going to leave you now, Dominic.
Don't worry, I'll cover you with my analysis, Dennis. I think it is good to be looking for these championship gems. I think it's the sort of transfer strategy that we need, because we clearly don't know how to value players. We don't know how to spend money under this ownership properly, because we don't have a scouting system. We can't estimate how much money we do need to spend. But yeah, I mean, if we're making these moves, these sort of small money moves, 5 to 10 million on well-known players, not well-known players, but players who are known to do well, as well as like Dennis says, have the opportunity to go up in their careers, then I think, like you say, I think you're going to get people who are firstly hungry for the role, but also you're going to get hard workers. And if you have a whole team full of hard workers, then you have a very successful team. So yeah, I think the recruitment strategy it certainly should be used for the future. And I know a lot of our targets this year were championship players. So I mean, the Benrahma deal was sort of a big deal to make just because of the quality he has. But I mean, if we can, we still need to strengthen. We have the weakest squad depth in the whole league, as well as having one of the oldest average squads. So we need to do something about that. So if we can, stoop down a league, or go across to the Czech league, or to any other league that undervalues their players, then we can get some real diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, listen, mate, I agree with you. I also think as well that it's not being really mentioned too much is the fact that you've got the likes of Anderson and Balbuena and all these players that were brought in with Pellegrini and Husilios, and they identified them. And if you remember the Pellegrini system, it was 4-2-3-1. People like Anderson were given the license to get forward. That was their game. And it was only really kind of last season where we didn't really invest enough. We didn't bring in enough quality fullbacks, and Anderson had to cover a lot, and he lost his way a little bit. And I think that team was very much set up to, there were two separate elements to it, wasn't it? Defense and attack. This team's completely different because they attack as a team and they defend as a team. And we seem to have got the right mix of players to play that system. And what's been more impressive is either he's had the players already there, and the additions that Moyes has brought in have benefited the team, and they are suited. And that's the one thing we know. Do we have a scouting network? No. Do we need one? Of course. There are so many things that are missing in terms of recruitment, but you have to trust Moyes in terms of the players he's already brought in, and he knows the fact that they fit within that system. Now, Said Benrahma is an outlier in that. I don't know how he's going to deal in this system. I'd imagine that with Masuaku behind him, it might benefit him, but he's going to have to press. That front three always press, so it remains to be seen. And I think maybe if he comes in and doesn't do that job or show that work rate, you could argue, well, it was a Sullivan signing. And in which case, how much of the say if we brought Josh King in would have been different. I don't really want to talk about these things because we've done so well in these past games. And obviously we've got writer's block. This is a writer's block. It's a writer's block. It's got writer's block written all over it, mate. But yeah, no, that's my opinion on it. It's good to see a squad that just buys into what we need to do. And listen, we've seen before, the biggest example of that is Leicester a few years ago when they won the league. Weren't the best players, but they bought into that system, knew what they had to do, and they succeeded. And I'm not saying West Ham at all are going to go on a Leicester-like run, but, you can perform out of your quality levels. Look at Leeds, man. Look at Leeds last night. Phenomenal. But
that's the thing is that look at you're not getting world class players, but you do see you do see hard grafters throughout the lineup, throughout that whole starting 11. You see hard grafters, and if you have those people who are not only going to work hard for you during the game, but also be game intelligent, be match intelligent, realize where they need to be position wise. I mean, Ogbonna might be one of the most intelligent centre backs in the league. His positioning is just second to none. And you can tell because he's not fast play, he's not a pacey player, he's not technically amazing, but he's always in the right position at the right time. And that's why sometimes when he's up against people like Aguero or Son or whoever it might be, he's always there, quelling the damage. So, we need to buy smart. We need to buy smart. And I know it's going to be hard with these owners in place, but I'm hoping with our top scouts in Souček and it's Souček, isn't it? Souček right now.
Is now playing the Jose Font role.
Who did Font get again?
Font nearly got us Carvalho, and he got us João Mario. Before being sold.
He still likes us, doesn't he, Font? I don't know why.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
I'd love to get him on the channel. Like if I could ever get hold of someone, because he is an interesting bloke.
We need to get him on writer's block.
He might be too highbrow for him. He might just go. I'm still playing for Lille. Do you know what I mean? I'm still a professional football player. I don't want to be sitting around with you lot talking about. But he'd be great. He'd give you great insight though. Do you know what I mean? Because the thing about Font that I was disappointed was when we got him, I thought, oh, Man United were after him. I think at the time Mourinho wanted him in. You thought, oh, maybe we've got an okay player here, but it just never worked out. I do think he gets a lot of harsh criticism. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he was that bad for us. He wasn't the player I thought we were getting.
Certainly not in hindsight, he wasn't that bad. And I do think, but just before we sold him, when he came into the team in the dying days of the Bilic era, he was vastly improved from what his first couple of games for us were absolutely solid, and then his lack of pace got this is more of a writer's block retro sort of. We should have retro writer's block where we have writer's block discussing retro.
Was Font any good?
Yeah, what was Font harshly remembered? Just how mad, just how mental was Diafra-Sakho? Bearing in mind, do you remember when he nearly burned his house down trying to make a cup of tea? He put the kettle on the hob or something. There was that story, and then he moved in with Chiate. The club made him move in with Chiate to help him adjust to living in the area because they just put him in a flat and he didn't know what to do with himself. So how mental thingy.
We need to do player retrospectives on the on the channel.
I mean, I've written a few retrospectives. I mean, I am wearing the plain dandy Carroll West Ham today. So
you know what, lads? I'll be honest with you. We've got an international break coming up. You can have your retro writer's block, all right? I will sort some stuff out. Don't worry, you'll get it. I'm gonna have to do something.
Corey, give us our content. We need that beautiful content, mate.
Yeah, I mean, just like Simon Miller does his retro ups and downs on What Culture, we can do our retro writer's block on West Ham. There we are.
Well, I need topics in that international break because that is a painful time. There's no transfer window. There's no West Ham. I've just got to hope, so we're just going to have to find something out the archive.
I'm the retro guy. My latest article on the website is about Paolo Wanchope. Like, everyone goes on about Paolo Di Canio. Let's talk Paolo Wanchope. He was bloody brilliant for us for a year.
I've got to be honest.
West Ham and City legends.
My Wanchope knowledge is well off. I don't know how
mate. You need to remember about one chop of the day, man. Like, it's a match of the day. Temporarily, it was one chop of the day.
Hang on.
Right.
Can we just talk? Oh, sorry about that. I was just going to say, can we talk about that international break? Why the hell are we having another international break in the midst of a pandemic? 2 weeks after we've had an international break already. It's bollocks.
It's money.
I don't understand. I don't understand why these internationals are even going ahead because they've brought on Phil Foden, by the way. It's not surprising at all. They need.
It's that number 10 you're talking about.
Well, I've told you. I've done my homework. Right. Anyway, before we get to the game, Basil's asked a comment, so I will answer it. What you lads think of Jose Souček? Now, I actually thought when he said Souček is the new Fellaini, yes, of course he was a little bit salty, but there are definitely aspects of Souček that are Fellaini-esque. The amount of goals he can get, the late runs into the box. I actually think, and I might be wrong because I can't quite remember Fellaini in his full glory, but I think Souček is a little bit more well-rounded, if I'm honest, defensively and offensively. I thought defensively, Fellaini was okay, but he was a dirty player. Whereas I think Souček, in terms of his stamina, work rates, he's got a little bit more in the tank. So, I mean, what do you think, Dennis? So Charles has decided to run away at that question.
I was going to say,
Right,
I've swapped streams, and it's now got adverts. So is the game started yet?
Yeah. Did you hear any of my sort of spiel on Souček and Fellaini, or did you just?
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah. Sorry, I was just sorting out. I think I actually no, not ignoring it. I literally my view on that is that's not Jose being salty, because Jose was very high up on Fellaini. I think that's Jose just being observation. I mean, I take a lot of what people say is Jose being mardy or salty. I take as just Jose being a slightly more, grizzled version of what he thinks. I mean, he's a very blunt person, and sometimes you do have to take what he says on face value, in that he's making an observation. I personally think so. So the only problem is I'm so far behind on the stream because I've still got adverts at the minute.
Okay.
Look,
well,
I'm watching
about to
Guinness
take a corner, Dennis, just update.
Yeah, Man City have got a corner.
Where are you watching this game, mate? Where are you watching it?
I've got my actual BT, so it's quite nice. It's quite nice for me, actually, not having to try and find a stream.
I'm not jamming it off of a website.
Allegedly, you'd never do that.
Not that we ever would.
Yeah, exactly. Just to clarify things,
This channel does not condone such behaviour.
We absolutely, despite the ridiculous pay-per-view prices, we still would never condone such an act.
No,
especially when it's £15 to watch a game now.
Yeah, give the money to your food. Give the money to your food bank, lads.
West Brom Burnley. I think I'll swerve it.
Oh my God! Imagine paying £50 for that. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
Go on, Souček.
What I would say about Mourinho, by the way, is that he actually he comes across really well actually in the Tottenham documentary on Amazon. He actually does come across really well, and like you say, Dennis, I feel like he has accomplished everything, and so that cockiness now is a bit more. It's a bit more kind of like, oh, bloody hell. Well done, boys. It's a bit more. Oof. God, honestly, this second half is going to give me a heart attack. Honestly,
but they're not the same City that we're used to seeing. They have got obviously elements of their play. Everything is City-esque, of course, but it's not.
Here's the thing, Corey. I think it's actually to do with the Premier League. I think the Premier League this year, more than any other year, is so competitive across the spectrum that teams like City and Liverpool are gonna be found out, and there's going to be results that go against consistent basis. Go on, Miguel.
Close. Anyway, yeah, go on, mate.
No, I was just saying that, it's a competitive league, and so teams like City, they're getting found out. Their style is so well known now that people are preparing, and people are, they've got the analysis and the data on them to try and stop them from being so effective. So I think what I will say for Moyes is that he's not a perfect manager by any means, but he is a smart guy. He's an intelligent guy, and he's hired intelligent people around him, like Nevin and Nolan and Irvine, people who know what to do and how to set up. And oh God, Antonio's injured.
Nice. No, you're right, wasn't he?
Don't tell me. I'm on 48 minutes. What minute are you on?
49 now. He just signaled to the bench. He just signaled to the bench, I think.
Hey.
I've just seen him take a kick. He's just taking a kick and he's walking around now.
Oh, maybe it's that.
Dennis
Jesus
is still
Christ.
in 2016 at this point.
Mate, I'm still at Upton Park. Look at my badge.
Yeah.
Dennis is still at half time.
I'm looking forward to us bidding for Lacazette.
It doesn't work out.
Yeah, spoiler alert, mate. Oh, Zinchenko, the
I don't even know Zinchenko was fit. I thought he was.
I love how they compare Zinchenko to the De Bruyne. It's like, okay, here's De Bruyne and here's De Bruyne from Tesco's. You know what I mean?
No. It's here's Tesco's finest De Bruyne in De Bruyne, and then here's Aldi De Bruyne in Zinchenko.
Oh,
There's no disrespect. There's no disrespect to Zinchenko. I think he's a phenomenal footballer, but you can't compare him to Kevin De Bruyne.
I think we were looking at.
It's a
I think we
completely
were looking at Zinchenko as well.
Zinchenko's versatility, he'd be brilliant for us. He could play left back, left wing back, centre mid.
Well, he never played left back coming through for City. He was more of a left winger, wasn't he? I think he's kind of converted to that.
They changed him when they didn't have any left backs, so he started playing left back for them. So, But to clarify, I'm at 49 and a half minutes, so that's how far we are.
On.
You're only a mid behind us, to be fair. Oh, Yarmo! I told you, he's coming on. He's coming on for Antonio. I told you, Antonio's injured.
No. Oh, God's sake!
Yeah.
What did I say?
warn you?
What did I say?
Didn't I warn you?
I mean, it was a matter of time, wasn't it? Unfortunately,
It's just the runs. It's just the runs, and like we just switched off, and he just managed to pick up a position there.
Well, that's it. Look, see, it's Balbuena who hasn't. It's Balbuena and Rice who sort of haven't figured out who's supposed to be marking him, and then Obona's had to come across, but it's too late. So
it's just that late run.
Yeah,
it was good. It's good movement from Foden. In fairness,
it is. It is. To be fair, it is.
And that's the difference, isn't it? In this sort of a lot of City's play, you know, they were trying to find the likes of Aguero. Now you've got Foden almost playing in that second striker role, coming late into the box. It just gives us more to think about, and obviously we've conceived there.
And Antonio's.
So I'm actually gutted, to be fair. So I think City haven't really troubled us.
Yeah, that is a good turn and shot. I've just seen it now, guys, but I do get what you're saying with Rice and Balbuena getting a bit muddled there.
I mean, like Corey said, it's a good run, but one of you's got to pick him up. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's what's unfortunately it looks like Antonio is actually injured as well. That's really not good for us. I mean, and it's also is Allaire on the bench today? By the way, lads,
he is on the bench,
and he's gone for Yarma instead.
Well, I think.
I mean,
it can't be a pace thing because Yarmolenko, his one big fault is he doesn't have pace. But Yarmolenko did used to play centrally out in Ukraine. I did an article on it before the Chelsea game, before he came on and scored. So I declared myself a tactical genius by saying that we should be playing Yarmolenko as our main goal scoring threat.
I can see now that Jared's playing a bit more of a central role. Yarma's gone to the right, cutting in onto his left, and Fornal still on the left. And I thought this might happen, like throughout this season, where you see Bowen in a striker role. He's obviously got that pace to get him behind. You'd back him in terms of finishing. It's just gutting, isn't it, really, to see Antonio go off because he's been so good for us.
Yeah, so I mean, Yarmo's gone out obviously where Bowen is, and Bowen's now sort of, I guess he's playing number 10 now. I guess. I mean, you would think that Allaire does come on at some point. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I think actually Moyes is probably very happy with the 1-1 draw, as I would be. But the trouble is that we're getting overloaded in those areas, especially on the wing. Yarmo is already. There's been 2 examples I can point out already where he's not been on his man out wide. So we'll just have to wait and see.
My God! Sorry.
Is it 2-1?
I mean,
no.
Oh, okay. Don't do that to me. Oh, they're looking at Haller as if to say, yeah, Haller's body language is just like.
And Cancelo is always that outlier, isn't he? He's always that player to bomb on and get forward. It's so crucial we try and nullify him because, you know, both times he's gotten the ball, he's created. You know, he's created so many chances in this game alone. So I mean, we've got to address
He's
that
a
as well.
phenomenal player. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to be scoring, I don't think, for the rest of this game. I hope I'm wrong on that. Jesus, Cresswell.
Yeah, come on, boys. We went into this game although we were a bit optimistic. Open 20 minutes, we did think as a matter of times we concede. We normally concede 4 or 5. I think 1-1 at 53 minutes. You can say there's a small club mentality against Man City. Still a good account of ourselves. Let's just keep doing this. Let's not get too down. Come on.
Dennis, this is coming from you, mate. Honestly,
I know. This is coming from me. You know, now I've lost the beard. This is now optimistic, Dennis.
This is the innocent Dennis. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it has been good for the most part. I mean, you know, slight lapse in concentration, defense of the goal, but
Yarma's picked it up on the right.
Go on, Yarma. Go on, son.
Do it for Dennis. I'm
damn.
Oh, that's poor, man. You could have just tried to win
Jesus
Christ. Corner out of that.
Jesus Christ.
You could have just hit it on his right.
He doesn't have a right. That's the trouble. We don't use his right.
A few times I've seen him on his right, and it can't be as bad as just not hitting it at all.
Well, it's the same with Bowen as well. Like, he never uses his right, and you've got to think to yourself, like, surely you can just, like, you know, because I mean, I've got a terrible left foot. But even sometimes I'm willing to give it a go and cross it in with my left. You know what I mean? Oh, Jesus, Fab! Yes,
we're switching off.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I mean, like you say, Corey, that sub of Foden changed the game.
Well, no, and this is the problem I said about City. Principally, the way they play is, you know, when they've got De Bruyne in that role, he normally finds like someone like Sterling running in behind, and they didn't have that player in the first half. And they couldn't really make any movement. West Ham just sat deep. But Foden now is giving us a lot to think about. We don't know whether to close him down, whether to sit off because there's runners in behind. Just bringing him on has completely changed the game. And he's a very complete player in that sense. He can link play, he can run on. I think, that won't be it. He's a nightmare. He's an absolute nightmare.
He is. It's those runs, and Kufau is I mean, just having a bit of a
tough.
He's having to work hard, like you say, because of that extra man in there now. I mean, Foden has changed the game, has turned the game on its head. And you know, without Antonio's presence up top, I honestly don't see getting. Oh, come on, Yarma! I don't see us really getting a lot of.
If we only had a 45 million striker with European pedigree on the bench,
I know it's a shame. We should.
Even if he can't play as a one up top, he's much more of a target man than Bowen or Yarmolenko, in my opinion.
I think the difficulty here is you're playing Bowen down the middle, and Rodri's going to play as that pivot and sort of cut off the path to him. I think if you kept Bowen on that right and Fornals on the left, and you brought Haller, all right, Haller isn't going to do the same job as Antonio, but you'd back Bowen to kind of create enough space and enough chances to get it to him. And Haller's finishing ability is top draw. So, I mean, you've got to actually look at this going forward and say, you've got that £45 million striker. You're not willing to bring him on in a game like Manchester City. When are we going to play Sebastian Haller? Do you know, if at all?
And I think for the mentality or the psyche of Haller, I think the reason why he was maybe looking a little bit bemused on the sidelines just because, you know, Yarmo is not a striker and he's getting played ahead of Haller. And I think if you are setting up defensively, I think, like you say, Dennis, you do need you know, why not have a target man up there who can hold the ball up and wait for quick to come on.
Yarmolenko, again, I really like Yarmolenko. I've said it many times, but when he played out on the wing against Arsenal, he was massively at full for their winner.
He's a defensive liability. He is a defensive liability.
Bring him on when you're 3-0 down against Spurs. You're not got a lot to lose. Holding on against Man City. Not sure about that one, mate.
But the difference between, and this doesn't get spoken about enough, the difference between how Man City are playing and how Spurs are playing. Spurs actually just sat on a 3-0 lead. They just sat deep and went, do you know what? We'll counter when we can, play 2 up front, and we'll just see what happens. Yeah, Manchester City are pressing us. They've got players to run in behind. They've put Foden on. They're going to push us all the way. Guardiola needs to win this game. He's not been in great form recently at all. He hasn't really shown it. You know, even City fans will watch this and say they're struggling against West Ham. So I expect them to be at the races. But having said that, they do tend to peter out after 15, 20 minutes of restarts. And they just sort of set their foot off the gas a little bit. Oh, in behind. You need Jared playing on that right.
That beautiful right foot.
Yeah, there it is. Look. And even there, though, West Ham are still playing high up. We will create chances. I would just back Bowen on that right side and Yama as a central striker, not the other way around. It's difficult for Yama to get in behind and stretch.
Going back to what you said about Spurs, you said that they sat back. I think you mispronounced bottle the win. What they did, they just bottled it. Bottle job FC. So I'm going to get one more dig out there. So
I mean, they bottled it. I mean, that Sancho game was hilarious, but it was just that's typical Mourinho, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I'll 3-0 up, I'll sit back, and in fairness, it's never happened in the league before. So I mean, it is quite. But when
it's actually the first time I think a team have come back from 3 goals down with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah. Well, when you mix a little bit of Spursy with a bit of a high press from West Ham, you get a 3-3 comeback, don't you? So
you get an absolute shithouse. That's what you get.
Still got 30 minutes of this. Jesus.
You know what, though? How many years is it? Probably since maybe that Bowen season where I think we beat City 2-1.
Yeah.
Maybe the first time against Guardiola, West Ham have genuinely been competitive.
What a strike.
What, from who? Walker? No, I won't worry. It was dead central as well.
Oh, it was dead central.
I don't know what you're about. We've got a corner where I'm watching. The keeper's got it. That's a shame.
We could really do with a set piece. We
just had a corner. In your preview, Corey, you said if we're gonna do damage against them, we've got to do it in set pieces. And like you say, with 5'10" centre backs, and you get Ogbonna and Balbuena and Souček and all them lot up there, I think you can. That's where you're going to do the damage offensively. So let's hope we can get a few more.
Well, I'm looking at this now, and they're looking at KDB on the bench. He can't be fully fit. Like, if he was fully fit, he would have come on instead of Foden. So I'm kind of looking at it thinking, I don't know if he'll get on it. He might come on last 10 if they're 2-1 down. I can't see West Ham scoring at the moment, to be honest.
He might even come on if they're still drawing with 10 minutes to go. Just
had the Walker shot, Charles. It was a good shot, but Fabianski was behind it all the way.
Oh yeah, it was all. I was just getting my my normal West Ham nerves out of the way.
Sort of thing that typically would have deflected off of Ogbonna and trickled into the far post if Roberto was in goal. Well, Roberto would have jumped over it and thought, I was predicting the deflection. So
Roberto would not have saved that full time.
Could you imagine if we were doing it
just let it through
with Roberto in goal? I think I'd look, my vocal cords would be lost with the amount of screaming I'll be doing.
That's going to be. Oh, hello. That's going to be my first. That's going to be my first retrospective.
Retrospective. How would you kill Roberto?
That's all right.
Oh no!
No,
don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
If you watch it, like a couple of times, you see like Mahrez like drifting in central, just in behind Rice and Souček, and they just get joy there all the time. It's like West Ham, you've got to switch on. Like first half, near towards the end, we just sat really deep. Just do the same. Make it difficult for them.
Yeah, we're currently in our own half, aren't we? All 11 players are in our own half, for God's sake.
Oh, that was close.
I mean, the trouble is that, like you say, with that Foden chance now, I mean, they're starting to get players in behind us, and like you say, I mean, if we do sit deep enough, then we can stop the attacks or stop the runs from going in behind us, which is what they've been doing so well in this half. But then if you sit too deep, and as we see now, De Bruyne is coming on. If we sit too deep, then someone like him's going to absolutely twat it in there.
Well, exactly. And this is the problem now. I mean, I'm interested to see who comes off and how they might change it a little bit, because you'd say City have played really well in the second half. Oh, here we go. West Ham, play it left.
Go on, Pablo.
Look at West Ham pressing high. Go on, put it on them.
Go on, Cresswell, get up there.
I was offside, Yarma. Come on, man.
That was poor from Yarmo.
Lazy, man. Honestly, that's
That
just
was
stupid.
poor.
There's no need for that. It was stupid offside to concede.
That was
Oh.
stupid.
Anyway, we move.
We move on.
64 minutes gone, 1-0.
No. Pep's talking,
to be
to
fair,
Pep's talking to Kevin De Bruyne on the touchline.
yeah. To be fair, I mean, if you'd asked me at 65 minutes if I'd be happy with 1-1 draw, I'd be very happy. But
Oh yeah, yeah,
I was going to say the same, but
yeah.
it's never like that with City, though. You see the clock and you're like, right, let's just get to 90. You know what I mean? Because they're just relentless. Great turn.
I don't know how that
That's
wasn't a
obviously
foul.
a free kick, isn't it?
I don't know how that wasn't a foul. What am I skunking? Oh, Mazuaku, have a day.
Oh, come on, don't switch off. Oh, lovely. Lovely, Mazuaki. Go on, son. Go on, West Ham. That's it. Go on. Come on. Bit of pace. Play it wider. Play it wider. Use the outlet. Oh, come on. Quicker than... Oh, God, all right, whatever.
Whatever. I'll give up.
I thought we were going to go for the counter, and Pablo was like, do you know what? I fancy a bit of a stroll today. I'm like, nah, come on.
That's the thing, is that like you want us. That's the point. I mean, you know, why switch off attacking wise now? You know, we've got to still keep pressing. Because otherwise,
if you invite the pressure, you just keep it like that. We're inevitably gonna concede. But listen, this isn't a complete write-off. I would never write West Ham off, particularly in this system. We'll create chances. It's just how many clear-cut chances do we create? And if we create them, who takes them? You'd have to look at Yarmolenko's and Bowen as the better finishers up front. And say,
I am a little bit behind you guys, but I've just had the bloody 4-0s go down just before that counter. And how the hell have we not got a free kick on that?
Oh, man.
the referee
That's
very
ridiculous. If 4-0s was wearing a bloody Liverpool shirt, that'd be a free kick and a booking. I'm telling you now. Right, it's ridiculous refereeing. Sorry, that really pissed me off. That did that moment.
No, it did. I mean, to be fair, he's been pro City all game. To be fair, that ref. So
lovely turn, Declan Rice. Go on, Yarma, find that. Oh, they're going to double up on him. Oh,
so I'm feeling like a terrible presenter. I feel like I'm being terrible. I'm not commenting on anything. Anyone watching, if you don't realise, I'm like a minute and a half behind these guys, and I'm just fed up with streams. So
that's what Corey felt like last week.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll be denying. Oh no, we haven't scored. Don't wind me up at one point.
No.
So.
Oh!
Come on, West Ham. Pressure on now. I love it. West Ham are getting a little bit back into this game now.
Yeah.
Taking a lot more chances going forward. We've been a bit more creative. It's good to see.
And now De Bruyne's coming on.
Yeah, and that was it for West Ham. We'll look forward to the Liverpool game now.
Right, thanks for coming on the stream, everybody. We'll see you next week.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah. Play the new
Alain's
intro.
coming on now.
Palace coming. Don't you give me hope.
Jeez, he's brought Haller on.
Haller on Bowen.
Come on, Haller. I still need to get that tattoo. I still
fair-
need to get the tattoo with him.
Fair play to Moyes. Though, playing an attacking change at 1-1 at 68 minutes. He's turned the corner, the man. He's turned the corner.
You know what he's watched the writer's block. That's what it is. He's watched the writer's block.
Go on, I'll tell you what these lads know what they're talking about.
It's one of the. I mean, to be fair, according to their analytics department, it's probably the only analytics they can afford these days. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're just that little sheet of paper against Spurs. It's not like going forward.
Right.
You need to put pressure.
You see what this Corey bloke's saying? Yeah, just do what he's saying. Just do what he's saying.
It's just West Ham. We're trying to explain it to Manuel Lanzini. West Ham way. Forward. And he's like, and he just can't understand it, so he just absolutely rifles it top bins from like 30 yards.
I thought what it'd be like a screenshot of us. It'd be a screenshot of all of us and going, these four people keep saying I'm shit. Go, go prove them wrong.
More than likely. Yeah. No,
Right, it's Haller time, lads. Come on, MC Haller.
tell you what, if Alex scores it, that's absolute scenes, man. Go on, Masuaku, take him on. Sorry, I realised I'm kind of shouting into the mic then. That was a bit aggressive.
It's that time. It's that time because Dennis's stream has again frozen.
That has it. You still look like you're in 4K.
Look at the confusion. Yes, Allaire has actually come onto the pitch.
Allaire has. If you're listening in your car or anything like that.
This is not a drill. It's actually happening.
Yeah, I can't believe they've actually played him, to be fair.
I'll tell you what, like you say, Corey, I love Kufal, whatever you want to call him. He's a beauty. He's an absolute beauty of a signing.
Yeah, it's a perfect signing for the systems. Come in, done a great job. Definitely an upgrade. Improved our first team. We slipped a little bit there. Don't let him in. Don't let him into his right. Don't let him. Oh, fantastic, West Ham. Well done in the end.
Masuaku.
I can't lose it there.
Trouble with Masuaku is that I don't know whether he's tired or anything, but he is getting back slower into his defensive position.
I think he's had a really good. Apart from that, I think he's had a really good game today. If I'm honest,
yeah. He's had a quality game.
Superb, yeah.
Look at that, 90 miles an hour from Allaire.
Come on, mate. You've got to put some. I mean, when you're Allaire and you are that type of striker, and we're playing this type of game, he has to just try and pick it up off of De Bruyne and put pressure on him. Make it difficult for the geezer to pick the ball up.
Go on, Yarmo. Go on, Yarmo.
That's a great touch. Oh, go on, son. Go on, drift back in. Get it on his head. Get in there, Allaire. What are you doing? Right then. Oh, that was just silly. That was just stupid.
That was so bad from Yarmo.
What was that? Just either play it in the box or give Soufal a decent ball. We just lost it there.
Yeah, that is poor. That is poor. Pep Guardiola kicking on the sidelines. Oh, 20 minutes, boys.
Oh, look how deep.
I'd say my stream just froze, but I think I've caught up to you a little bit because that just happened. So I'm only about 30 seconds behind you, I think.
Look at that improvement.
Brilliant. Improvement.
Well,
Corey. Oh wait, he's gone. He's off.
I'm on 71 minutes. So.
All right, Dennis, you can answer this for me. Do you think one thing that frustrates me about Pablo Fornals, I don't know whether you notice it or not, is that he's always facing towards our goal when he receives the ball, which is a little frustrating.
He loves the little pirouette turn, doesn't he?
Well, the trouble is that he isn't turning now. That's the trouble. Like, it's fine when he does turn, but when he doesn't, it puts us and Masuaku in a bit of trouble. Yeah,
I've picked up a bit on that as well. I think it's one of those things where, again, players come in and out of form and certain, like, maybe pressures and things like that. It's also another one where, again, if anyone that's played football, like all of it, even when it comes to anything 7-a-side, 5-a-side, stuff like that, it's so much easier when you don't have the ball or watching the game to say, when you're there in that moment, the ball comes to your feet, even that's where it's like. So I always have a degree of sympathy when you want to be facing the ball, you want to see the ball come to you rather than have it behind, run and potentially ran 5 yards and not have it's been intercepted sort of type situation.
Dennis, are you going to be paying £15 for Fulham Crystal Palace?
No, lads. I've got some videotapes to return.
Some video
behind the ring. I didn't know you were that behind on technology as well.
Yeah, I didn't know you were in prehistoric era.
I was just referencing American Psycho, but that also works.
Yarmo's having a piss poor game at the moment.
I don't think he's done well at all since he's come on.
No.
Look, lads, I think eventually, and I mean, we'll probably talk about an alright blocking international break, given that there is no football to talk about. But Moyes' contract comes to the end this season, and I think if he does well this season, you'd look to renew it. And I think, he will get players off the bench that he does trust, that will do the roles that the likes of Bowen do when he's playing. And I think over time, I think West Ham will have a more complete squad. Again, I think it's massively remiss of us to not bring in enough squad depth now. But you'd hope going forward that we would look there. And if he has more of a complete squad to choose from, then we will be able to compete throughout the games rather than losing Antonio and you completely lose your attack.
God, Yarmolenko is just all over the place defensively. I mean, yeah. I mean, what I would say is that go on, mate. What I would say is that I don't think. Oh my God, Yarmolenko is actually having a stinker, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God! But then Allaire should have been a bit more on his.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but it's a poor pass as well. What I will say about Moyes is that what I have noticed, and I never thought I'd say this, is that he does actually command the respect from his players, and I think the players do respect him. And I think, if you're looking for Champions League or something like that, I don't think personally he's going to be the man to take us there. However, I'm willing for the next couple of years as a West Ham fan to just have a stable couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, no realistic West Ham fan is talking Champions League football right now.
Not under this ownership.
No chance.
Even for the first few years of a potential buyout,
Yeah.
What all I want from the team that I support is, and I'm certainly not a good old days sort of bloke, but like basically the type of seasons we used to have when I was a kid, where we're safe. Sometimes we flirt with a bit of danger. Sometimes we flirt with Europe. We play advanced football. We score goals. We have entertaining football, and comebacks we have comebacks against Tottenham, replacing comebacks against Bradford. Things like that. But you can't always have your cake and eat it. In that, I would take this Moyes approach to football, so long as we get the outcome results of finishing somewhere between 8th and 12th. More than happy with that, of course.
Well, look, and I think it's the relative success that we have seen so far is a little bit of a bit of luck, isn't it? No one wanted David Moyes. We had to bring him in because we couldn't get anyone else, and obviously he was probably the cheapest manager around. Some of the players are just there because, if we get rid of them, then we're going to lose our squad depth or any quality players. So it's just a mishmash of players that from different eras and different managers. But fair play to Moyes. He has brought that bit of stability and they are working well together. And you just...
There was a bit of Chuckle Brothers in the box there. Oh, what's happened? Have they scored, mate?
Dude. Oh, God, I thought that was in.
They haven't scored, but they nearly did.
Don't do that to me. I'm still a little bit behind. He's about to bring on Zinchenko. That's what's happening now.
It just comes with the territory. Like Charles told me off. I mean, Charles did unbelievable last week to not tell me the second goal because
I just wanted to see your reaction, mate. That's all. I just wanted to see the reaction.
You missed to Antonio. That's gonna go up later.
Mate, no. I saw it at half time. It's flipping hilarious, mate. I think that's better than any of the Tottenham ones. Oh shit! Oh my God! West Ham, keep it together.
Woo! God, that nearly went in. I've just had what you've had.
Allaire in the box.
Allaire, he's playing the Andy Carroll role.
Go on. I've got the Andy Carroll shirt on. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
This is going to be really tough.
Right, so just to put context where I am, Zinchenko's just come on for Walker, mate.
Yeah. He's... Oh my God! I think if you're of the faint-hearted, then please switch off the stream now because it's going to be a stressful 10 minutes.
Yeah, this has all the hallmarks of those games like back then where we nearly get a draw against someone big and we can see some absolute shithouse own goal. Like when Faubert put it into his own goal against Arsenal, we held him 0-0 under Zola for like most of the game. We end up losing 2-0. I think Bowie got sent off.
Oh, get up, Sterling. How was that a foul? How was that a foul? Yellow? Oh, I thought he was going to give me yellow. I was like, what are you on, ref?
Behave yourself.
That is such a dive from Sterling.
Oh, come on. And Sterling's won that as well. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. That's a yellow. Sterling, if anything.
Oh,
stop.
God, it's so stressful. This is so stressful watching this now.
God, and De Bruyne's going to take the free kick. Jesus Christ.
Well, De
Jesus
Bruyne's,
Christ.
De Bruyne's actually playing in a little bit of a deeper role, to be fair. Like, he's not playing in a natural, 10. He's trying to kind of
Yeah.
pick up and drive.
He came on for Silver, didn't he?
Oh,
My God. Oh, Jesus Christ. This could be
Don't say anything.
stressful. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to cry.
Yeah.
Fornell's getting down low to protect the low shot. Look, he's literally lying on his front. He's doing a plank.
Oh, my God.
Ah, fucking yay. Sorry, boys. I just have to.
Oh, get in there. Not getting past Faye.
He didn't curl it enough.
Nah, it didn't cut it enough. It went actually a bit
Didn't cut it.
sensual, to be honest.
Yeah,
Have you got the Cornell shithousery now?
that's great. Wasn't it?
Cornell's just looking at him like, what are you doing?
Get up.
What are you doing?
Oh God. Boys, it's gonna be a dirty,
Hey,
10
hey.
minutes.
Sorry, he is blanking. Safe hands from Fabianski. I love it.
It's gonna be
Come
a
on,
dirty 10 minutes.
Yama has got to help out Sufal. He's not going to close down Zinchenko now every time.
Yarmo is having a poor
Great
half.
save from Fabianski. Go on, Mazur. Put it in, son. Well won.
Beautiful.
Go on, just send it.
Go on, Pablo.
Oh,
Pablo.
go on, Pablo. Pick that up.
Oh,
Pick that up.
that's a foul, ref. That's a foul.
Get in there. Set piece. We've got a set piece.
What a set piece, boys. Set piece
Finally,
warning.
this is the. I've been waiting 81 minutes to see a set piece one.
Corey, can we get a set piece klaxon for the future streams?
I need a
Yeah,
soundboard. I need to speak to someone about a soundboard or something.
Set piece, and you just go like dance music, club music for like
No,
10 seconds.
I need one of Steve McManaman where he's like, "You can't do that, Fletch. You can't do that, Fletch." I definitely need
No,
one like that.
no. There's one edict. As long as I'm on this stream, there will be no Steve McManaman. None.
No, you got to have a bit.
None.
You can't do that. You can't do that. Right, here we go. Here we go.
Wow.
Creswell ball now. Here we go. Oh,
Oh, Mazuaki, beautiful skills.
that's filthy from Mazuaki. That is unbelievable. He's got to be one of the best dribblers at the club. Come on, West Ham. Pressure. Go on. Oh.
Right, boys, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Still got too much through.
So we've just won the free kick where I'm at, mate. I'm still about a minute behind you.
Yeah, we go forward. Mazuaki does a ridiculous piece of skill as well. Takes out after City midfield. Come on, Yama. You've got to help him, man. You've got to do more. He's not doing enough down that right-hand side. They're getting so much joy. And it does do my absolute nutting watching him play defensively. He's just not. He's not the Jarrod Bowen, is he? Let's be honest.
Nah. And since we've lost Bowen, we should have just brought Hallow on for Antonio. Like we should got to keep Bowen on that wing.
Well, I think we're struggling more. Oh, goodness sake. Oh, God, please. Mazuaki for me is man of the match for West Ham today. Been unbelievable. Cuts that out. And they're constantly trying to find that ball in behind. The late runners as well was so to pick up on. But Mazuaki's done a fantastic job.
Press him! Yes!
Well cleared.
Go
Push
on,
in,
Yarmo!
push out.
He's
Come on.
onside! Go on!
Come on. Go on.
Oh,
See, I'm not even watching it. I was just going to cheer.
Oh,
Cheer.
you telling me he doesn't have the quality to chip him from there?
that was poor. That was acceptable.
He should have done much better with that.
That was so
That's right.
poor.
He was just waiting for the last minute winner. That's all it is. It
I
wasn't
thought
late
he
enough
was
for it.
onside as well. He was onside.
That is really poor.
Oh,
He looks
that's
well
so
offside.
poor.
He looks
He
well.
literally has like his I I don't even know. Was it composure? His composure is so piss poor for Fornals.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's like I'm not obviously. Listen, we're not football players, right? But you back Fornals.
If I was in that position,
No, you might be. Yeah, if I was in that position, no. But you'd expect it of him to go and try and dink him from there. You'd think Fornals, the type of player he is,
take it round the keeper. Did you see how far Edison was? He could have, dummied him.
Well, yeah, we should have, or wait for maybe Yama or do something.
Yeah.
Or you have to take your chances when we've got them because we just don't have enough.
Well done, Yarmo.
What's he ranting about? What? Because I think Gundogan's had a few little tasty.
He's nibbled at him. It's the Guardiola tactic, though, isn't it? Just nibble at the ankle.
Way, isn't it? Just get someone that just fouls and little fouls.
Yeah.
Just up. And,
Tactical fouls.
West Ham got a set piece here. Another set piece. I mean, I'm not saying that the tide's turning because I think Man City are putting the pressure on us, but West Ham are.
Come on, Swell.
Oh.
Mazuaki's got one of the best control in the game. He's honestly,
that was actually a half decent pass. I mean, if Fornals have been a little bit more.
Mazuaki's just having the. Oh, come on, referee!
Unbelievable, Masuaku cover and run. That's a foul. That's a foul. Great. What a save!
What a save from Fabianski.
Big game player.
What a save!
No, I'm sick of this. Sorry, I am aware that I'm literally right next to the mic, but literally,
Mate, I love that crisp sound. It's beautiful. It's like music in my ears.
The thing is, now you're hearing crisp shouting as opposed to
Crisp.
sort of inaudible. Like sounds like I'm underwater, but yeah,
sounds like we're on the Joe Rogan podcast.
I'll do one, mate. Buy yourself a snowball. And then
I might get a snowball.
Then what will have is some sort of ridiculously high class writing block. I got Collie Audio's good on this.
Yeah, Jesus, God, they've made some good budget. Oh my God, I'm actually gonna.
Come on, Yama, please switch on.
Dennis, this must be just so dreadful for you.
Actually,
I have nothing. I'm not watching the game. I'm listening to you. No, I've given up watching the game because everything has gone down now.
Why is he
So I'm listening to you now. Listen to your reactions.
Fabianski made a great save, Dennis. I don't know whether you've seen it.
Go on, say fans.
Have you not? What? Have you turned off the stream?
Well, last thing I saw was the Yarmolenko shithousery.
Okay, got it.
And it's just gone now. I think it's just been taken down.
We'll try and do a bit of a commentating job on it. De Bruyne is now picking it up. Oh, that's an unbelievable ball for De Bruyne. You're going to have to get back, West Ham. Get back.
Well done, boys.
Great defending. Brilliant defending. Really doing a job. Oh, it's offside.
Did Mahrez go out of play there? Were they saying goal kick?
Oh.
Yeah, I think it did just go out.
I mean, what a ball from Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, my God.
He's different gravy, isn't he?
Well, this is the thing. Look, we're at this stage in the game where West Ham are going to have to take some chances if we do want to try and... I mean, look, it's positive. The fact West Ham are trying to create chances when we're 1-1 against City with a couple of minutes to go is actually more impressive than anything. But
pretty bloody good.
I will actually bite your hand off for a draw now, though. That's the trouble.
Oh, my God. A draw would be fantastic. It really, really would. Oh, I've done it now. Touch wood.
Yamo! Oh, my God, Yamo!
What's he doing? No. Well done, Angelo Ogbonna.
Yamo's been just terrible.
Proper defender. Oh, come on, West Ham, don't be stupid. Forward.
Corey, I was saying to Dennis whilst you were away that I think Fornals faces our defence way too much when he receives the ball.
Yeah, he never runs in behind, but I think it's because he lacks the pace to take the half turn. So come on, get Foden. Come on, West Ham. Brilliant. Well done. And do you know what? I think at points in this game we've been outplayed, but the resilience of this team, by the way, has been phenomenal. Even when they have got it behind. No giving up. They're absolutely sprint. And even Yarma there. Listen, Yarmolenko's been the poorest player on the pitch for me, even in the shortest amount of time. But he gets back, though. Watch.
Yeah, he does get back.
Finally.
But Bonner does so well to hold up Sterling there.
Look at Bonner.
Just
Brilliant.
an absolute beast.
Fantastic today. And the problem we've got as well, a lot of joy down that left-hand side. Soufal's getting exposed because he doesn't know whether to go and press or whether to sit deeper because Yarma's not doing the work that he needs to do.
Go on. Oh, Pablo. Oh, Haller!
We will not have a bad word said about our overlord Haller.
That is poor. That is really poor from Haller there. Go on, Angelo, or is it Balbuena needs to press? But you need to get back, lads. You need to get back. Brilliant, Balbuena. Well done, Balbuena. Haller's been poor there. Really
3
poor.
minutes, boys. 3 minutes.
Come on,
Add
West
it on.
Ham. Come on, West Ham. Put a bit of result in now.
Are you at the 90th minute?
Yeah, 3 minutes added on.
My stream is back, but I'm at 87.
We'll let you know. We'll see. We'll see you after the stream. Yeah.
I don't think there's any point in me even watching. I've just had the Fabianski say.
Mate.
Dennis, all you're going to see is just stressful situations.
It'll just stress you out, man. It'll just stress you out. You're probably better just to put it down. And
Yeah, tackle Balbuena.
Just put it down.
great tackle, Fabian Balbuena. And he picks it up and plays it. Haller plays-
Oh, well,
Go on, West
no.
Ham. Come on, put it in.
The ball.
Oh, he got the ball there. He got the ball. He won the ball. Oh, he's feigned it there. Oh, what a yellow card for that? Are you sure?
He had the ball. He got the ball.
What on earth is Balbuena doing there? I've got no idea.
This ref has been atrocious.
I think Fabian Balbuena's had a great game today as well. I know he's had a lot of critics at West Ham, but he's been superb.
He's just solid. You know what I mean? He's just a solid player.
Okay, it's dated. I've just had the Balbuena situation.
The
That's
tackle?
what I'll call it, the Balbuena situation. That he won the ball, and that's the booking.
He won the ball.
Okay. He won the ball.
And
He won the ball.
Of course he is. Anyone can see that.
Balbuena has been outstanding.
Brilliant as well.
Yeah.
Again. Come on, West Ham. Not long now. Keep it up. Just be clever.
Oh, Foden's crying.
I'd love to kick Foden. Like, if you just let me on that pitch, just to absolutely just kick straight through.
My mate, the United fan that was big enough, McTominay, absolutely hates Foden. And he loved the fact that I referenced his views on McTominay on the thing last week. I actually watched the Spurs game with him, and he was just cracking up at the fact that I just was like, yeah, got a mate. He thinks McTominay's better than Rice. Bit of a tit. Phil Foden's just been named man of the match. No.
Come on, boys, 30 seconds.
Who said he's man of the match? Do me a favour.
Probably Steve. I'm not biased at all. McManaman.
Steve McManaman, I used to play for Madrid.
Yes,
play
go
for
on.
Madrid.
Come on. Solid now, West Ham. Chase it all the way, Pablo. Chase it all the way. Just bring him down. Do something. Just
kill him.
Jesus! Oh, what a save!
go on.
Oh, what a save!
Yeah, great save. That'll be it. That's got to be it.
What a
Finish it
save.
up.
It's
Look
cool.
at Fabianski. And again, he's come down that left-hand side. Yarmolenko's not tracked his man. That's where the issues are coming from.
Imagine my shock.
Oh my
I've just
God!
had-
He's
I've
off.
just
He's
had
off. He's off. He's off.
Oh, yes,
Full
I've just had the
Full
save.
time, come on.
Press
Yes,
it.
full time, boys. Get in.
Full time, have we done it?
Wait. Yes! Come on, West Ham. 1-1 against Manchester City.
Come on!
Great result.
Brilliant.
Great
Brilliant. Resolve, resilience. There were elements, there were poor performances in there. We're not going to lie. Obviously, a fantastic Antonio goal. But I tell you what, more than anything, that resolve in that second half when it could have gone to pot massively. We've done magnificently there. Absolutely magnificent.
I'll tell you what, Corey. My
31
man.
points to safety, boys. 31 points.
My man of the match in that last 10 minutes at least was Fabianski. He made some.
Mate.
I mean, that save at the end was unreal.
Well,
Unreal.
Look, Fabianski, Balbuena, or Arthur Mazawaki was absolutely superb today. And I think this is the thing with the defence as well. They're taking accountability in terms of their defensive work. They're not just sitting back. They're not laying off. They're taking the initiative. And I think that's what did it for us today. And at points, we did get exploited. Man City put that 10 on. They found more space in behind. But Rice, Souček, the defence stood firm. We got back. We cleared it. It wasn't pretty. But a point against Manchester City, lads, you take it all day long.
Unreal.
100%. Like, and again, talking about Fabianski, there's a lot of talk. Got to move him on next year. Got to get another keeper. Maybe, but he still proved today he's a bloody solid goalkeeper. I think we signed him a couple of seasons too late. I think we should have taken him straight from Arsenal instead of Swansea. But he's proved today that he still is our undisputed number one.
10th place, boys. 10th place. I'll take that all day long.
10th place. Look,
Yeah.
we're above Manchester City. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. lads.
It's amazing.
Are we? I thought they were ahead of us after they beat Arsenal.
Yeah, and look, I mean,
No, you're not getting in hand, though.
You look at that Liverpool game, and we'll see how Liverpool perform this weekend. And you think, I don't think West Ham are out of it. Obviously, the key miss for that game is going to be Mikel Antonio, who's superb again today. And you fancy West Ham to get a goal or two, maybe against that Liverpool defence with Antonio. It'll be interesting to see how they set up next week, whether they play Bowen down the middle, Allaire down the... We just don't know. And he has changed it in-game quite a few times there, so we'll see. But listen, a point. I mean, look how many points have we got now so far this season, by the way?
9
9 points from those fixtures. If someone told you that before, with the level of performance,
I think
in the goal,
No, it's 8. It's 8, not 9. Sorry, it's 8. Sorry, my mistake.
God, come on, man.
I was going to say 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses.
If you're not watching the stream, get the stats right, mate.
That's all right. I mean, come on, we're perfect symmetry this season. Sullivan will be on TalkSport. I edge him with the most consistent team in the league. Look, 2 losers, 2 draws, 2 wins.
The funny thing is,
signing Dawson.
The thing is,
he's actually thinking he's a genius right now. He genuinely thinks.
Oh, yeah.
Who's this?
Sullivan.
Sullivan. Oh, look, the problem is with the Sullivan thing is because the team are performing, he is getting away with it. He absolutely is. And I think today, by the way, you saw Yarmolenko come on, wasn't great in the attacking sense, wasn't actually great defensively either. Allaire, some of his Allaire's touches, he didn't link play up at all, didn't do anything for me. Now, if Saïd Benrahma had been on that bench and you brought him on, I think you would have seen some real quality. And even in that moment where, Fornals picks up, if that's Benrahma, he's testing the keeper. And you just never know what would happen from there. So, yeah, it's a bit frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I think what Moyes is going to do now, he's going to give Benrahma the Jared Bowen treatment and kind of tease him a little bit, give him a little, 10 minutes here and there, and then try and phase him out. But I really do think we need him on the bench. I don't think he's not match fit. I think Moyes is just being weird. He needs to play him next week. Needs to put him on the bench. Needs to play him for 10 minutes at the end of the game. Do it for a couple of games and then work him into the team. Because honestly, I think he would be, like you say, Corey. I think it'd be absolutely potent against any teams that he comes up against. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
It'll be a different game. It will be a real different game against Liverpool, and I think it'll be that game where we've got to take our moments. And like Aston Villa did, I'm obviously not saying that they'll put the same level of performance in, but because of Liverpool's high line, no Virgil van Dijk is a huge loss for them. Let's see how they do this weekend and see how they get on without Virgil. I think Fabinho's done quite well in that position, so they might be quite decent defensively. But listen, I'm so impressed with this West Ham side at the moment. We were under the cosh for a long period, but when we got forward, we did get forward, and that's what you love to see from it. Like when you're watching West Ham, and we've watched West Ham under Moyes, where we've just sat deep, and it's like you're just waiting for that final whistle because we're not getting anything out of the game. Now we're looking a bit more of a balanced side, and we're looking like we can take teams on. And I can't believe we've got a point from City. It might be the first point we've got against Guardiola. I can't remember us ever getting a result against him.
It's a great result. It really is. It's a great point. And I think, just the way the fixtures have gone, especially the run of games that we've had, it's been, just really good getting those points, kind of getting a safety net up before we play teams that we can actually go out and really get some decent results against. We've got Fulham coming up soon, and hopefully we can batter them if we get through this
that's the test, mate, isn't it? That is the test. You know, we've done well in games, and it's typical West Ham, isn't it? You'll play against teams you don't expect to get a result from. Let's play against teams that we do expect to get something from, because when we played against Newcastle, we were abject. So you'd hope going into those games we show a little bit more, but just keep the system though. We found something that works. Keep the consistency. Get through the Liverpool game. Hopefully Antonio's injury isn't too bad. And listen, it could be top half by Christmas or whatever, and all of a sudden it's looking quite rosy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster. Quite a lot of the moments. There's a lot of what I like to call the chuckle brother moments in defence, like to me to you between us and City players. But you know, we've kept. Way I see it is we're keeping the title race, you know, unpredicted. You know, it's Everton's year this year. They're going to win it, and we're going to help them. So we take points off City, we take points off Liverpool, we take points off Spurs. We ruin people's day.
Well, I think the thing is as well.
We've done unbelievably. We've done. You look at it now.
Yeah.
You know, a point from Spurs, who were in ridiculous form. I know. I think, you know, the teams they've played, it's been quite fortunate for them to get results in. Manchester City are Manchester City. But West Ham have done really well against teams that are, you know, top six, and against teams that we would say obviously are better than us, 8th, 9th, like a Wolves and Leicester. We've done a job on them. We've done a real job. And you can say that about all teams. We've done everything in our game plan has affected the game. It's not like we've just been abject to it. So it's been a real positive.
Yeah. And like if you looked at the fixture list, again, it's one of the ones where I was, as you remember, I was so negative, especially after the Newcastle game. I was like, where are the points going to come from? And it is sod's law. It is such, you know, people ask me, my mates, what is the West Ham way? What we're all about playing the West Ham way. The West Ham way is either having a corner and somehow passing it back to your goalie in 20 seconds. But at the same time, the West Ham way is having a run of fixtures like this and somehow getting 8 points out of it. I mean, they looked at it and said, oh, Leicester, you might get something at Leicester, maybe, depending on what form they're in. But the fact we had Arsenal, Wolves, Spurs, City, Liverpool, those 5 games, like, you're losing those games. And out of those games, we've only lost Arsenal.
Can I just say, I'm absolutely gutted I didn't see this today. I'm absolutely... that would have been great to have seen. But, nah.
You are an arsehole.
you have absolutely rinsed him there. But don't worry, I'm sure there'll be some absolutely horrendous pictures of me where I look like I'm gurning or something.
Liverpool game, mate. Oh, trust me, I've got your first half celebration, Corey, and trust me, I can do some stuff on Photoshop, mate. Trust me.
No, mate, listen.
You better be worried, mate.
It's all good for that. No, I don't care. It's for the thumbnail, man. It's for the thumbnail.
Yeah.
It'll be good. It'll be good to see anyway.
Well, you're gonna love it. I mean, like every year in November, I grow a moustache for November. Donate, everybody. It's a great cause. So yeah, I'll be having the moustache along with the celebration. So I'm sure you can get a thing where I'll celebrate, and you can get like the YMCA playing in the background or something like that in a video.
All I can say is that there's going to be years of watch-along moments to enjoy.
Well, listen, mate. Hopefully, we get back to the ground. Do you know what I mean?
And there you go. Well, I mean, hopefully it's all a toilet bowl, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, now, can I quickly just use this picture, by the way, while we're here? Because this is my favourite. Unfortunately, old Moisey was quite on the ball today with his subs, but we were going to do a little bit of an addition today.
Oh God, what is it?
It's not you, man. Don't worry.
I've had my
go. Let's find it. Oh, come on, man. The suspense is getting too much.
I know.
It is. Jesus. The more the suspense goes on, the more I think it's just going to be something about me.
Oh, I'm 100% sure it's Dennis related.
Dennis related. All right, hang on.
He's got to Photoshop it first.
Yeah, come on, you can't. I wonder if it let me do it.
It's going to be a clip of me absolutely.
I don't think it's going to let me do it now. It's going to be like the absolute worst anticlimax ever. But oh no, it's not going to let me do it. No, never mind. Nah, mate. Oh, no,
are you joking?
No, I'll try one more time.
You've got us on the edge of our seats now.
I'll try one more time.
Send it on the message if you can't do it.
We'll just tweet it out.
We'll tweet
Wait, hang on.
it out.
No, it was no. Do you know what it was? It sounds so dead now. It was just Dennis. Like I just saw. It was the thing I sent Charles the other day, where it's just like I basically took your head, put it on a sub, and it was just you coming.
Oh no! Is it the Noble one?
There's another one where he's coming off the last 5. I was going to do that, but it just didn't work today. It was
right. Oh, Dennis, I told him that he needs to Photoshop you getting thrown onto the ground by Noble. Honestly.
I've done that. I've done that before. I did one. I think the Colton Cole parody account retweeted my ones because I had like Mark Noble throwing down the fan, and the fan's face is just the EU flag. Like Mark Noble getting tired about Brexit and stuff like that. And I think Colton Cole parody stole that one off me.
Yeah, I mean, should we do it? Should we do our man of the match for this game as well? Because we haven't really. For me, it's Masuaku all day long. I thought he was phenomenal. Like defensively as well, he's really switched on. Won a lot of balls, and you could say a lot about the defence. It could have been anyone. You could have even argued maybe in those last 20, Fabianski did some unreal saves as well. But for me, I thought Masuaku was switched on the whole game. He cut out so much of their play. We didn't see as much of him going forward as I would have liked. And obviously, he is very good going forward, but. Even when he picked the ball up in midfield and he comes central, he was so composed just to keep that ball for those 2-3 seconds, just to let the pressure off. And for me, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think Masuaku, I mean, we know how good. I think he's definitely probably the best technical player we have at the club. And, you know, I think that helps him get out of a lot of tricky situations where, you know, he's under pressure. He can have that composure to get round them and get past them and get that pass 3 to 4 hours or whatever. So yeah, I agree. I thought he played really well. I actually think it was a great team. We didn't hear the commentators on Masuaku, but I mean it's West Ham. We always get disrespect. But,
I'll tell you. Sorry, Dennis, to cut you off. That Foden man of the match is just ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I watched that whole game. There's no one that's telling me he's man of the match.
It's just what it is. It's BT hyping up or. Britain, England have got a good young player. We've got to hype him. That's what it is.
Well,
I mean, I'm gonna be the pantomime villain of this piece, as usual, and say that although I think Masuaku was sensational, my man of the match is Fabianski for the saves that kept us in it.
That's not even a statement. I mean, that save.
It just edges it. Like if those saves weren't made, if the shots didn't come in, I'll be with you on Masuaku. But for me, for those saves, I mean, I think we don't appreciate Fabianski. He is not a world-class goalkeeper, like a top goalkeeper, like some people make him out to be. But when you go from what we had last season with Roberto, bless you, and a little bit of Randolph. I mean, Randolph for me, definitely a good personality to have around. Not a Premier League starting goalkeeper for me. So if something happens to Fabianski, it won't be as disastrous, thankfully, as Roberto, because I genuinely would shove any one of our youth keepers ahead of Roberto and stuff like that. But I think Fabianski today showed just what having that reliable pair of hands in goal, well, not even hands, he made a couple of saves with his knees and feet and chest, showed that actually if we had that level of composure and competency in goal last season, we would have picked up points along the way with Pellegrini. Which is something I've always maintained. We wouldn't have won games because Fabianski weren't gonna score goals as well. But and that for me is why I think for the appreciation of what he brings to the team, I'm gonna award it to Fabianski. However, Masuaku is like if I'm rating Fabianski as a 9, Masuaku is an 8.999 recurring.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
so fully with you on the Masuaku praise.
And just to follow up on that comment from Freddie, I mean, special mention has to go to Soufal for the great assist and just a great work rate, and also Balbuena, who, I mean, you know, the goal was difficult to handle. Could have been him, could have been Rice who picked up Foden, but again, like you said, Foden just kind of changed the game with that with his movement, so he had to adapt. But yeah, I thought Balbuena, Soufal, special mentions. And also I thought Souček and Rice were again solid in central midfield. I mean, it's not really a surprising statement these days, but, you know, it's good to see that they're still consistently performing well.
Sadly,
Yeah.
our Soviet Phil Mitchell is the only player that's probably let us down a bit today. But that even in itself is slightly harsh. We did get
I mean,
a point.
the thing is that like I mean, he even let us. He nearly even let us down. I mean, he nearly even let us down to the point where he gave away a goal. So, but the fact that he at least didn't lead to a goal has made me feel a little bit less angry.
I think if we're looking from a Manchester City perspective, I actually think Cancelo was their best player because the amount of chances that guy created throughout the entirety of the game is being massively underplayed, and it's easy for a BT to just point out that Foden scored that goal and drifted into space. Yes, he made the difference, but that is his natural game. Pep made the choice to bring him on, which was a clever thing to do. And it was tough for West Ham to adapt to that. Do you know what I mean? And we were going from playing one way that had been really successful in the first half. All of a sudden, they had a 10 on there that's going to run in behind. And, there is that space between, Rice, Souček and the sort of back three. That right-hand side was a problem area all day long. Even with Soufal, I thought played really well today. It was really tough. And even in that first half, Jared Bowen at points couldn't actually put it on and get out because Cancelo was playing so far forward that it was just an absolute nightmare. And when the armour came on, it was, I know he did passes and touches, and there was a lot of indecisiveness from him that actually prevented us from the swift counter attack. But actually, his defensive work rate down that side was poor. And I just think that is the worst thing you can see, where it's down the left all the time. They're getting in behind, they're creating space. That does worry me going forward, because if we do have these players to come on, if they're going to perform in the same manner, other teams, look at Liverpool. I mean, Robertson next week, by the way, is going to absolutely bomb on down that left-hand side. So, I mean, if Bowen's going to have to be massively switched on, and it does make it tough for us because we do tend to push our wing-backs up. If we can't push them up because we're being pinned, all of a sudden our counter isn't as effective.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say as well, big talking point from the game that we haven't really covered yet is obviously how long is Antonio going to be out for? I mean, hopefully it's not as bad, especially with the international break. I guess it's a blessing in disguise that it gets a bit of recovery time, but we do all know how sort of niggly his little hamstring injuries are, and always come about. I mean, that's the trouble. I mean, you look back on deadline day and think whether you could have at least tried to sign King as a bit backup. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be touch and go with him, because obviously Haller, I mean, he's good. He is good, but we've only seen him perform against Championship sides and League One sides. He hasn't. I mean, today, he didn't really have a lot to do. It's not really his fault, but we haven't really seen him come up against decent opposition yet this season. So, I mean, I hope he steps up and he can do well, and maybe when Benrahma comes into the team, he's gonna be sort of his Diangana, as it were, and try and kind of set him up more. But yeah, I mean, Antonio being injured, I mean, let's just hope it's not for too long, because he's a massive part of that team and a massive part of our attacking potency.
I mean, the second worst thing to come out of Antonio's injury is also now that X's tweets are just going to blow up. What's the injury? What is it? X doesn't know. It happened 20 minutes. It happened an hour ago.
He's on the phone to Mickey saying, "Come on, mate, how bad is it?"
Come on, Mickey. Is it the fact that you just, I'm trying to think of something funny out of the situation, but it's not really funny. Someone gets injured. It's like, did you think, I've scored mid-goal, right? It's not the you lads now. You just fancied an early bath or something. I mean, do we even know what type of injury it was? Like, did the commentator say anything? Because I had the commentary off.
Well, let's be honest, it's probably a hammy. I think he went down the right-hand side, tried to run in behind, and all of a sudden after that, he just pulled up. It's going to be his hamstring. It's always going to be that hamstring because it's such a weak area. And I think X said on the podcast this week that he just tends to put ice on his hamstrings straight after games, even when he's not injured, because it is such a weak point for him. It's a huge miss, and I think Charles touched on it. Not having someone like a Josh King in there, because I just don't think he rates Haller at all. And even when he's tried to play Bowen down the middle, it's not working. I need to change it again. And so you do look at it long term, and we all said the same thing. The squad depth isn't there, and that's going to be the real problem. Maybe it's a different argument when you've got Benrahma in the side. Maybe you could play, I don't know, maybe you throw Pablo over to the right, or play Benrahma on the left and Bowen down the middle. There are options, but they're not natural options. Let's be clear. I'd expect West Ham at some point this season, by the way, to call up on Oda Beku or someone from that reserve team, because because we're going to have to. You know, if Antonio's out on Allaire place, we've got to have another choice striker. We can't just play. It's not acceptable for me as a Premier League club, and I don't want to speak negatively because it's an unreal point against City to have two recognised strikers in the first team squad. It's just ridiculous.
Oh no, it is. It's. I mean, it's emblematic of a wider problem, and I think the trouble with Allaire is that what you lose with Antonio is you lose pace and power. I mean, Allaire has power and strength, but he loses. I mean, he is not as quick by any means as Antonio is. I think that's what we're really going to lose, is that Antonio, I mean, he's just a force to be reckoned with those defenders. I mean, like you say, in that first half, he was bullying Diaz, and you know, I think we've really got to hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's just a little bit of tightness, and maybe 2 weeks off will be okay. But again, it's going to be a long-term problem anyway, because he's had this in the past. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah,
and it is about that severity, isn't it? I mean, if you're looking at 4 to 6 weeks, that's a real blow for West Ham. And we've just sat here on the stream speaking about get to November, take on some of these teams. I thought we were going to pull it up then, but they didn't. But some of the results, they're just pulling them up now. 4-0 Wolves, 3-0 Leicester, 3-0 Spurs, 1-0. They're great results. They really are. The past 4 games, we've been outstanding. And it would worry me that we go into November and we don't have our main striker. And all of a sudden, it's a bit like we can't. And if we miss opportunities against teams, and I'm not saying this will happen, Fulham or Villa, you'd have to go, oh, God, that's a missed opportunity. And I just think West Ham, we need consistency. And we've shown we can compete with the big boys. We've shown that we can put in good results. But let's do it against the teams that we're meant to do it against. And we'll be in a much, better position, like even in the January window. Do you know what I mean? We'll be an attractive proposition then. We won't be almost relegation battlers. People might go, do you know what? I fancy going to West Ham, chancing my arm a bit. You just have to hope. And I said, you just have to hope we bring in a few loans, because I just think the squad depth is massively suspect.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, also, potentially, you're also looking at we need to, if we want to buy, we're going to have to sell. That's just the policy of Golden Sullivan, whether you like it or not. Yeah. And, if we can get some upgrades on players who are either heading towards the end of their contracts or who are grossly overpriced or overpaid, then why not? But the squad that we have is good, but that depth is just horrendous. I don't know whether you saw, but we've now got 4 goalkeepers. We've got more goalkeepers in the squad than we have strikers. 4
goalkeepers, isn't it?
4 registered goalkeepers, 3 registered right backs. Then the rest is flimsy as anything. 3 centre backs, 2 left backs, one of which plays as a centre back, 3 centre mids.
There's
I don't
no
need
doubt.
to list it off, but
I think as well, if West Ham do perform well this season, by the way, and we do keep up this current level of performance, it's going to be pressure on the board even more so. Because if we get to January, we're saying, look, he's done amazing with these players. He's managed to somehow, keep us churning over. You need to back your man now. And I know, I'm not sure how much budget we've got, but it is ultimately a loan at the moment for Benrahma. Go out and get a few more loans. Look how much you've released on wages on that wage bill. Don't tell me it's not possible. Do you know what I mean? It's
or go back to Slavia Prague. I mean, I think genuinely we need to get some sort of link up with them.
Oh,
absolutely. We maybe loan out players that are like on the fridge, someone like a Josh Cullen, and say, actually, Josh, rather than go to Anderlecht, how do you like to go to Prague, nicer city, and play Champions League football with the big boys? Yeah, do that for a year. I'm sure he'd probably gone, yeah, I'll do that, and then come back possibly a better player.
I would say as well, that midfield too, by the way, are absolutely unbelievable. Declan Rice and Thomas Souček. If one of them gets out of the squad, it's a different ballgame for West Ham entirely, because with all due respect, you bring in Nodes or Snodgrass, you lose mobility, you lose a bit of defensive awareness, you lose a lot. Those two are, in terms of centre midfielders, are really complete in their entirety of their games, and they're so crucial to the way we play.
I couldn't agree with you more, Corey. I think, but also it's all we have. It is all we have, and we don't have. I'm still pissed off with the Cullen selling, because I don't understand what we gained out of it, what he gained out of it. He could have been a really good backup, and like you say, when you put Snodgrass, who isn't even a centre midfielder by trade, and then you've got Noble, who's just kind of seen out his final days now. I mean, you've really got to be looking to strengthen that position. I mean, if we can get to January without injuries, touch wood, we need to be investing in that area, whether we sell players or not. But I mean, you just can't tell what's going on behind the scenes now. You can't tell whether they're asset stripping. You can't tell whether they're looking to sell, and they don't want to buy any more players, or whether they just don't care, or whether they don't even have the money. I don't know. But I mean, something has to happen in that central midfield to make sure that any injury to Souček or Rice is prepared for.
Yeah, and that would be the basis for me of future transfer windows. It would be saying, we've got the first team, it clearly works. Go out and buy some squad depth. Go out and buy some different looks. And the thing is as well, I do believe when Benrahma's fit, we're going to... I know Fornals missed the sitter, but generally he plays quite decent. We're going to be going, we've got Fornals on the bench now, do you know what I mean? Which is a great option for us to have. But you also go, is he going to stay around at West Ham if he's a constant bench option? The guy's worked his socks off to try and get first team football. If you get an unhappy Fornals, all of a sudden you're going, oh God, this is terrible. But I don't know, man. There are too many ifs and buts, aren't there? There are too many ifs and buts.
Got a question for the panel.
I'll set the questions. No,
I'm sorry. I should have typed it in the comment section. I'm sorry, but what are we thinking about Lanzini not appearing after his stellar? I mean, obviously it was a short cameo, but it was a very good one at that. Are we pissed off with that, or are we saying it's not really?
Not really, because we were defending, whereas Spurs we were chasing. So you got to gamble, bring on an attacking player. If we had brought, who would you have brought Lanzini on for?
Well, that's the question.
Nels, possibly.
Probably
but then you got Lanzini going out wide left, where it's not very natural at, in my opinion. If I were to have made a third sub, I'd probably have paper thrown at me for this. I'd have probably brought Snodgrass on for Fornals because it's work rate for work rate. Whereas Lanzini, I don't think bringing Lanzini on for Fornals would have helped us defensively, because we were under the cosh that last 10 minutes. Yeah, we had a couple of breaks, but I think it would have been taken as a risk. And if we had conceded, everyone would have been pointing at that substitution.
Well, I think that's what makes the Yarmolenko sub on for Antonio even more confusing, because it just kind of there wasn't any plan behind that. He brought on Haller anyway. So if you bring on Haller for Antonio, then you can put someone like Snodgrass or Lanzini on, who are Snodgrass especially gonna graft hard, and also he's got deadly cross as well, which would have really been helpful for someone like Haller. So I don't really get the Yarmolenko substitution today. Thank God it didn't backfire on us, but we'll take the point and we'll head on to Liverpool.
I completely agree with both of you, to be fair. I think the Lanzini move would have been the wrong move to have made. I do. Maybe the argument is that Pablo Fornals lacked a bit of quality today in that final third, which was disappointing. Having said that, I thought Haller also lacked quality, particularly when he was trying to link up with him. It just became massively disjointed when he had a forward three of Fornals, Haller and Yarmolenko. They just didn't work well together at all. Mm. I don't think it was the game for Lanzini, if I'm perfectly honest. I think it would have been really, really tough for him. And not maybe because I think he could have added a bit of quality in that final third. But you see, particularly on that left-hand side, when you've got, I think it was on that left-hand side, and then they had Kyle Walker and somebody else covering as well with a bit of pace. Lanzini's not going to get him behind Kyle Walker, is he? Do you know what I mean? It's just difficult for him. And, I think I brought the question up in midweek. I said, would you chance your arm? He's in good form. He scored a good goal. You've got to pick your games. And there will be teams that will concede, ground in that middle where Lanzini could pick it up in a 10, turn and shoot or create. And I think in the Carabao Cup, he's shown that as well, particularly in that final third. He's still got a bit, but he's not that athletic player that he used to be. He can't make those runs. He can't carry the ball as far. So you've got to pick your games with him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it is the case for a lot of the side. And that's what, we talk about the transfer window. It's about having the right options. Would Josh King have been a great option to have brought on against Man City? Because he could have really tried to get in behind. He could have stretched those defences. He would have offered quite a lot decent work rate. And if he was in Fornals' position, by the way, he at least gets a better shot away. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
you have to look more at that and the overall picture in terms of just like who you can put on.
And with the result as well, it doesn't concern me too much about the subs, but yeah, I'm overall very, 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 very pleased with that point. I mean, if you had asked me if we got a point before this game, I don't think I could say that with a straight face that we would have. So Really good point. And yeah, on to the Liverpool game.
Come on, you guys.
Come on, you Lions.
Well, that's
Right, I've got to get going.
Let's wrap it. Let's wrap this one up. Fantastic, lads. Thank you for joining me today. Thanks for everyone for joining. Make sure you like and subscribe to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. We'll have to do it again next week, lads. It's been a real pleasure, to be fair.
I'm available for next week. So.
Terrible international break.
One at a time.
One at a time. I've got the next. So I'm available next one, and I've got Sky, so I won't be needing to. I should have Sky, so I won't need to rely on what you call it, terrible streams and stuff.
And then
like
Corey
that,
goes back to the stream.
Yeah.
No, I might be all right. I think I might be all right. So, it's gonna be a weird one, but listen. Thanks, lads, for coming on.
Right.
Pleasure as always.
Love it.
Cheers. And my final words are: back the team, not the regime. Remember that, people.
GSB out.
GSB out.
Fantastic. Come on, you ones.
Enjoy you.